Round one. Fight!
Sparrow, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
What if the fake news canceled the world's most beloved heroes? When a tragic attack ends the lives of precious innocents, our most celebrated heroes find themselves blamed and canceled by the media that once glorified them. Now in hiding, will they be able to trust each other long enough to prove their innocence? Well, they better fight as hard as they can, because if they don't, an even bigger tragedy is coming. And this time, it will cost millions of lives. Truth, Justice, American Way, the 64-page full-color graphic novel. Get yours today, only on Indiegogo. Wednesday, August 24th, it's me, your friend, Gabe Altabe. Guys, summer's over, but it's not over until we watch a little episode of Double Impact talking about Under Siege. This is a great movie. I think it's Seagal's last one, though, last of the great starting five, as I like to call it. I would like to welcome in the panel the great Shantan Jetty and, of course, Jericho Green. How you doing, gentlemen? How's it going tonight?
What up? I'm doing great. I have a special request for this evening.
All right.
I am going to be doing some painting this evening as we talk about this beautiful film. So I would like my fellow brother in Seagal, Jericho Green, to ride shotgun, if he would, above me, so my painting can be down low and we can keep the flow of people. If that's do it. Thank you, sir.
Oh, like that?
Yes.
Wow.
And I want it because I think it's fitting, and I wanted to also share with people before we get started where we are right now, so they know that this is live. This is not finished painted. This is going to be a painting of Miss Eleniak as she came out of the birthday cake for your viewing pleasure. And that is the plan. And I'm looking forward to talking about this movie. Jericho, what have you got?
Man, I mean, not to get ahead of things, but I think I would be okay calling that moment pivotal in my young life.
Life.
Come on,
I gotta
now.
focus to paint here.
I don't want to say life affirming, but definitely life changing. Jericho, go expand for us, bro.
Oh. I mean, at this point, I was about 12 years old, so I had many a birthday cake in my day, and none of them had any accoutrement. Like
I would like to order a cake in this flavor for sure. You know what I mean?
It was beautiful. And last night I'm watching this with my son. It's the second Steven Seagal movie in a row that he showed interest. So he is of my DNA.
There you go.
I fast forwarded through this part that we're talking about.
Right.
And later, after the kids were to bed, I was talking to my wife and I told her that I fast forwarded, and she said, "Oh, who cares? He probably like that." So
there you go.
I don't know if you guys ever experienced falling in love with your wife again.
Yes,
I did.
So, in honor of you, Jericho, I am going to title this painting "Vanilla Blonde." That's what we're going to call the flavor of this cake.
Ooh.
Vanilla Blonde. It's a birthday cake that, as you've pointed out, tragically, we've never received. But there you are.
All right, we will get to that. But
man,
we're going to talk about this movie. But I just want to show a little clip, little teaser to show you what you're in for here. It's just a few seconds. I recorded this yesterday. I love this little back and forth here. Hold on.
Listen to the shit I've had to put up with. The past few weeks, Commander Krill has become increasingly hostile to the crew, possibly due to anger over my last reviews of his performance. I recommend that he be given a psychological evaluation before taking over his next assignment. Do I look like I need a psychological evaluation? Not really.
The deadpan there from Mr. Jones is fantastic.
And there are a lot of delicious layers in that one scene. We'll get to it, but
we'll definitely.
There is a buffet in that scene.
Now, absolutely. I'm going to open up the images to start going through this movie. Open with preview, but it starts off. We see the USS Missouri, and I guess it was in real life. It was like decommissioned right around then, 1990 or 89 or whatever like that.
92.
Okay, 92. Now, as a Navy man, for those of you that don't know, you look right behind Jericho. He's not just a fan of the Navy. He's a veteran of the United States Navy, the greatest Navy in the history of the world. That's right. As you all know, I am a proud resident of America's finest city, and this is Fightertown, USA. This is the Navy city of Navy cities. Man, we love our Navy in San Diego. My father-in-law is a Navy man. Grandpa Rocky, rest in peace. We've talked about him before. He's a Navy man. My best friend's dad is a Navy man. Everyone's a Navy guy around here. We love it. What is this movie? Before we get into the story, Jericho, what does this movie mean to you as a Navy man?
Quick disclaimer. This is a Navy SEAL flag. I am not a Navy SEAL, nor have I ever been. That was sent to me by the Navy SEAL Museum in Fort Pierce, Florida, and signed by SEAL Team 6. Wow. They originally sent it for me to give it to my son, but then I opened it and saw how cool it was, so now it's mine. But from a bird's eye view, I like the way that the Navy was represented. I like the reverence that they showed to that ship. I like the angles and showing those guns, and then that scene where they show it literally cutting through the water. It was like a blade. It was almost like that that ship in that horrible movie, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Just the way it sliced through the water. But
the Nautilus.
Yeah, the Nautilus, exactly. But I think the Navy was represented well, and of course, having been in the military, you look at this through that military lens. You're looking at the uniforms, you're looking at the ribbons, you're looking at the way they salute, the haircuts. You're looking at all the things that you had to maintain being in there, and I was looking. But overall, I think I like the respect that they showed to that ship and the Navy itself.
Right. So the stage is set here. I didn't catch it. I don't know the ranks. Is he the captain of the ship, the man that's going to retire?
Yes, he's a captain.
Okay, so he's the captain. He's going to retire soon. And we start off seeing Casey Ryback. He's just a cook, guys. He just cooks. That's all. He's not former like Navy SEAL Special Forces.
Of course he is.
None of that. Just a cook.
Oh, man. Well, this right here. First of all, that guy, whoever that guy is, he's a good character actor. He's been in the movies, all the movies like since the 90s. You know, you need like a Brooklyn guy. That's your guy right there. Shout out to him.
Right.
But Casey, and again, looking at it through that military lens, there's no way that the captain, the CO, the commanding officer, he's only Chief Ryback. You talk, there's a chasm between a chief and a captain. It ain't even the same sport, okay? There's no way that a full bird captain is going to tell a chief to do something like put on your uniform, like he told him, and he's going to say, "Nah, I don't do uniforms. I don't do parties." No, you do whatever your captain tells you to do. That was number one. But you know, it's Casey Ryback. You know, you don't want to push too much.
I do think that's a little suspension of disbelief there, but it is that whole Hollywood screenwriting thing of your opening image and your closing image. So you have him start off as one character looking one way, and then by the end of the movie, spoiler, he's in a full dress uniform and blah blah blah. So I think that was a little bit of monkeying with the rules there to get their opening
for sure.
Bookend the images, you know.
I've started to think since last week, actually, and Jericho brought this to my attention, that Steven Seagal might have not actually had that accent. So I'm beginning my whole Steven Seagal world now. This is how I came to get all my info on the Navy, Jericho, and you're destroying my sense of reality.
And I didn't set out to do that in this live stream. I did not.
I know, but here it is. Here we are.
And speaking of the beginning and end with the uniforms, unless this movie takes place over an entire season, he's not going to start out in his dress whites, which is your summer uniform, and end in his dress blues, which is your fall winter uniform.
Oh, I didn't know that. They have different colors for different seasons.
Yeah, you wear your dress whites a certain time of year, and you wear your dress blues a certain time.
Of course, the Navy would kill you in August if you were wearing the navy blue in mid-July.
No, you ain't doing that.
You're down by the equator in July wearing navy-colored wool. You just dehydrate and die. Pretty
For my comfort, though, there was never anyone even remotely like Gary Busey in the Navy, right? Because I'm a little concerned having watched this film.
Well, we'll talk after the live stream.
Right.
We'll talk later.
Right. So he's the XO, right? He's the second in command, Gary Busey here.
Executive officer, yes.
Right. And he's talking to the captain about, you got your big party coming in, and the admiral's coming in, and it's going to be a big hullabaloo. And and he's gonna order him some food from Hawaii, I believe.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of conflict there. Not very serious, just the food. But I don't want Casey cooking, is what Gary Busey is saying. But he likes his chef and all that. But then the admiral doesn't want it. It's kind of a ridiculous, weird little argument. But it has something to do with the BS that this horse-tooth mofo is up to, because things are not what they seem. This is terrible. What's going on?
And I don't know if that hat's regulation.
He's the Swedish chef.
Dirgen, yeah. What is that?
Could you imagine if he crossed over his character from Out for Justice with this character? So he was using the accent while he's cooking for the Navy.
Hey, Petty Officer Johnson, come here. You got the tomatoes over here. You got the pasta over there. Am I exaggerating, gentlemen? Am I exaggerating his accent from Out for Justice?
I cannot watch this man the same because he does a Southern accent in this early scene. Yes. Go, what are you trying to prove, man? What is this, Jericho?
Yes.
He's unraveled the Matrix.
Right.
Again, more genuine laughter from Steven Seagal. When he's joking with these guys, he's laughing. Belly laugh.
Right.
Bring back the happy Seagal.
Right, and that's one thing they established early on, that he's well-liked by the kitchen crew and some of the lower-level guys, and it seems like Gary Busey and his little gang of officers, they don't like Casey. So there's something there. So they're hinting at his past. And but remember, he's just a cook. He's just a cook.
That's all he does.
That wears a non-regulation chef's hat. So
and that green tank top underneath.
Right.
Not sure if that's regulation for the Navy either.
Yeah, and I like this touch. They show historical footage. They show great shots of the USS Missouri to start it off, and they actually show the real president, George Bush Sr., as they decommission this ship. I think it was San Francisco where the actual decommissioning took place or whatever. But this ship is historical. It was it from World War II or right after, Jericho? Do you know?
World War II, and that, like they said in the movie, the Japanese surrendered on the deck of the ship.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. The Japanese surrendered on the deck of this ship. The famous, is that with MacArthur?
Admiral Nimitz.
Nimitz.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's
right. Man. But again, a little funny business with the footage at the very end. I'm not giving away none of the story here, but you see the ship pulling into San Francisco. Now, they're in Honolulu. They're in Hawaii. That's a long... Maybe that's why the uniforms are different. Maybe they really did traverse from Honolulu to San Francisco in real time, and it happened to be around the time they changed their uniform.
Now, what is that journey in real time when you were on the ship?
Oh, well, I can tell you this. We went from New Jersey to Spain, and it took 11 days.
Wait a minute. From New Jersey, right?
Jersey. Yep. To Barcelona, Spain took 11 days, and that was in 1999.
Wow.
So a little, 7 years after this. So, those boats aren't exactly flying through the water, you know. So it would take quite a while to get from Hawaii to San Francisco.
Right. So the setup here, you got Seagal as the chef, the cook, Casey Ryback. You got Gary Busey. He's the commanding, the top ranking guy under the captain. And they're having a retirement party for the captain, and the ship is being decommissioned. But Gary Busey's insisting on his own menu, his own food flown in, his own waiters, his own entertainment, his own band. And of course, the Playboy magazine here, she's going to jump out of the cake for the captain. So Gary Busey's created his own party. So far, it seems very not serious. It seems very frivolous what's going on. So I like that it's a good setup, a good fake out here, And they just have a little bit of talking about that, a little more camaraderie between the guys. Down in the kitchen, this redheaded guy who's like second to Gary Busey, he's telling Casey Ryback, "You're not cooking, you're not doing nothing. You guys aren't going to be working for making dinner or anything like that." And there's a little bit of conflict there. He ends up, does he end up belting this guy or Gary Busey? I don't remember.
He belts Gary Busey.
Oh, never mind. Asked and answered.
Yeah, that's how he got the little cut on his face. Yeah, he goes, you're going to be arrested for striking an officer. That's not striking an officer. That's striking an officer.
Right.
That's when he hit him on his face. Great makeup work too. I think I put something like that on my face Halloween when I was 9. But
I will tell you though, you're right. But it was the thing I kept thinking about it was besides the scar kit, you could see the edges of it. It was glorious. Like you could. You honestly were like, that's going to fall off, And I think it's probably because he was, sweating, meth at that point. But the thing about it was that as I was watching, I went, oh, I bet you they did that partially so that you could track who he was when you see him in drag a few scenes later. Seriously, because it wasn't good follow, but I mean, truly, like, well, it was a guy in drag, but I mean, I think it was a really good follow this character, because if you think about it for an audience, how that's going to play, I mean, that was a weird setup.
I mean, Gary Busey, I'm sure if you licked him, it would be like if you licked him in the early 90s, it'd be like licking one of those frogs in the Amazon.
Yes,
it's all psychedelic and shit. Because he was sweating
less
out
sanitary, but
he was sweating out some dope.
Oh, and you got this dude here, man. You've got the man who is had the ponytail in The Fugitive. The guy who said, "Don't let him give you any shit about your ponytail." So you have Tommy Lee Jones and him in this flick. Same actor.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dude in the cap got smoked by Robert Downey Jr. U.S. Marshal. Yeah.
That's
he did when he used a different gun. Or Marshals, U.S. Marshals.
Yeah.
We're action nerds.
I like this right here from Paul because I want to mention something from Kickboxer with Tong Po, or is it Bloodsport? Kickboxer. Paul says, "I never noticed the fake scar when I watched it on VHS because you were watching it in like 480 or standard definition."
Yeah.
And I think they were able to use the wax and the stuff, and it wouldn't come through in standard definition. When I watched Kickboxer growing up, I thought Tong Po was really an Asian man. I watched it 2 years ago in HD, and you could see the wax on his cheeks and eyes making fake Asian eyes. Michel Tisi is an Arab man from Belgium who's a friend of Van Damme's before Van Damme became a star. Michelle Kesey is like Arab, like me, and they actually used putty and wax to make Asian eyes. And in HD in Kickboxer, you can see it, and it looks terrible.
It's clear.
So I think this is the same thing. Like in standard definition, you wouldn't see the edges of this Party City makeup, but now in HD we can all see it.
It's painfully obvious. But you remember that? Remember when HD came out? How weird it looked.
Yeah.
HD looked weird. Like, oh man, I don't want to see that. Let me watch regular definition. And now it's all we have. But yeah, it brings things like this to light, man. And
Julie's like Julie Pascal says now we can see the pores in the actors' noses. Not sure that's an improvement. Agree.
Well, Gary Busey's pores were filled with filled with coke.
Little cocaine, little meth, little whatever you want.
Over here.
A little bit of dealer's choice. Won't I skip ahead too much? So we have the altercation down the kitchen. He's telling Casey Ryback, Steven Seagal, you and your crew, you're not going to cook shit. I got my own food coming in, my own entertainment, my own beautiful women jumping out of cakes.
And he's spitting his bouillabaisse. He's spitting it. That's what got him hit. He's spitting his pot of bouillabaisse.
I know this is a little nerdy consistency thing, but he says, I got 50 gallons of bouillabaisse to make. And when they go down to the kitchen, he's using a 4-gallon pot.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Now, my dad's been a gourmet chef for almost 50 years. I've worked in industrial kitchens. When I was in college, my dad would do parties. It's funny, my dad's Libyan, but his best friend's a Jew, Arab Jew. And he would do parties for 1,000 Jews, like a bar mitzvah or things like that. And I would do them with my dad on Saturdays. And when you're cooking for people in the giant soup pot, the thing is a couple feet across, the 50-gallon. So just funny, he said he was going to make 50 gallons. You see him making like 1.5 gallons. It's like, okay, whatever.
Hey, Captain, I got 50 gallons of bouillabaisse. What's the matter, you?
He's, did I say 50? I meant 15.
I may have grossly overstated my bouillabaisse, okay?
Hey!
Everybody gets one spoonful. That's enough.
Oh, dude. Lord.
Just the taste. You don't want to ruin your appetite.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Steven Seagal.
That's right.
Gary Busey is very effective at making his treatment of Ryback soup come across as very good. Oh, yeah. He goes full.
Like, yeah.
He
got some of that lung butter in there, man.
It's that cocaine note of his.
I can do this for real, guys. He's like, I can really hawk something up because I had a rough night.
He gets he gets a running start and then just hawks a loogie again, man. So,
Gary Busey, though, he had his moment in time.
Right.
Yeah.
Gary Busey had his moment. Oh, man.
Right.
Yep.
So here we go with Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones. And of course, the gorgeous, is it Elena, this actress?
Erica.
And they're coming in on a helicopter, and he's there with his blues jazz band, and she's there, and they're all headed to the party. She's a little nervous about it. He's telling her to calm down. It's going to be great. And, they get out. She's looking great. And Tommy Lee Jones, I always see him like an older, like sophisticated guy, and he plays such a great, like, Axl Rose-ish kind of rocker in this. You know what I mean? He does seem like greasy and smelly and hasn't showered in 4 days, but he's still going to be like kissing women and his hands are going to be like octopus tentacles. He does play the filthy rock star pretty good. I do like that.
Yes, he
it's
does.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones, he got range. That boy got range. He played this part. And this is in the 90s. This is when all the bad guys had some kind of quirk. They weren't like equal badasses to the hero. They weren't like Bennett from Commando or something like that, where they were both Green Berets and they were both badasses on a certain level. This is like the Cyrus the Virus, the 90s. They're smart, they're kind of weird, but they're not, hand-to-hand combat experts. But he played the hell out of this, man. This movie has lots of layers.
If I'm not mistaken, and you can kind of see it in terms of the casting, like who else was in this movie. I'm pretty sure that this flick and his performance in this flick is what helped him secure The Fugitive, which made his entire career. And that's the thing about it. He was, because I noticed him in this flick, and then the next thing I saw, shortly thereafter, I mean, it wasn't like immediately after, was, The Fugitive, and they had that close-up of him going, I want to search every dog house, hen house.
Yep.
So this is one of those things where these action movies used to have really great and solid actors at the start of their career. You see it in the supporting cast. You've got Seagal, but you've got them. And I have to say this, on watching this movie, today I watched it with my son. We did not fast forward that scene. Unfortunately, the remote got stuck. It was frame by frame. It was weird. One of those technical things.
It happens.
Damn you, Samsung. But the thing that was interesting is I go, wow, she really acted well in this for her part.
Yeah,
I was
did good.
expecting it to be far worse. And she was great, actually. I thought she sold, there were the parts that, this is the dialogue they give you. But she delivered some great comedy. She delivered some, great lines like, oh, we're going to die. I was like, wow, you did great. So I thought she did great in this.
Yeah. Was this before Baywatch?
I think so. This is this is 91, 92 or something like that. This is
92. So I think it was before she was on there. But yeah, she did great. And they took Tommy Lee Jones did The Fugitive, and then a few years later they said, "You want to do it again and call it U.S. Marshal?" He was like, "Yeah, I'll do it again."
Right.
Because he pretty much played that same part.
Right. I got to play this clip. I saw this as a kid, and I don't know why. This is just a short exchange between Harrison Ford. I didn't shoot my wife. And the way Tommy Lee Jones looks and sounds, and when he says, I don't care. I've always loved his delivery of that line. I don't care. Let's watch that. It's 12 seconds. Let's watch. I'm going to hit play, and we'll see if we get a commercial or a video.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
I've always
Brilliant.
thought that was so good.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's such good acting. The way you could tell he's just had enough of looking for Harrison Ford and going around. He's like, dude, I don't care. You killed her. You didn't kill her. And it's so convincing. And I remember seeing that as a kid and thinking, that might be the first time actually that I noticed really good acting in a moment. I don't know.
Yep.
But that just stuck with me that moment. I don't know why. So
unexpected. Good script writing. I Love You, I Know in Empire Strikes Back with Harrison Ford.
Right.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care is the thing you were not expecting him to say.
Right.
And it's delivered. And it's how it shows you one great thing about the character, how matter of fact he is about it. And in this movie, Tommy Lee Jones, what he brought to this character is you get it. Is he Hans Gruber? I mean, he's not that great for my money, but he's damn good. He's a 90s version,
Wait a minute. Have we reviewed Die Hard?
I hope not.
We gotta see that for Christmas, man.
I hope not.
Yeah,
That's a Christmas movie. No bullshit. That's a Christmas movie.
If we reviewed that already, we're reviewing it again with Jericho.
Well, that's true. Everything's
That's a moral
everything's
imperative.
back on the table now that Jericho's here. We haven't reviewed it with you.
But Tommy Lee Jones, he played the shit out of his part. You can tell that he definitely did the most with what he was given. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, Dave, hold on. To be fair, my father, even more so than yours or Jericho's, is actually from Africa. So I'm more African American. So, just saying.
Take that, sir.
Just saying. I'm going to give you that.
But is it? Yeah, Jericho is from Brooklyn, just so you know.
Hey.
Hey.
100% Italian.
My dad is from Tripoli, Libya. So there you go.
I got your Negro right here. Right.
So the crew's coming in to give the party and the dinner and everything. Meanwhile, Casey Ryback is locked in the walk-in fridge.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Handcuffed.
He's handcuffed and locked in. That's right. Gary Busey told that young Marine to lock him in there and to guard him. So they're the only two downstairs in the kitchen or whatever. So
Busey gave her those.
That's right. And Tommy Lee Jones gave her some headache medicine, and I think it's to knock her ass out.
Oh, Busey did.
No,
Busey, when he was still dressed like a woman, he gave it to her. He's, I'll take 2 of these and call me in the morning. She's
that's right.
Lifesaver.
Yeah.
And then he took her to the little changing room where she can get ready for her cake.
That's right.
And then when she went to take him, she went, but I feel really sick. And she went 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. And took about 5 of them. And that was the reason why she was passed out. She takes a handful of them. I remember seeing that in the theater when, didn't he say to take 2? That looks like, a party
very
for 5.
Clear. She was like, no. She
went
I know what I want.
family style on that thing.
I know my tolerance.
So
Yeah.
the festivities begin. All hands are on deck for this party, including the rock band and the caterers that Gary Busey insisted on bringing in. And then all the officers and all the sailors, they're all there. And Gary Busey makes a decision about his life.
Hey,
He comes in as the hot, sexy female entertainment. Look right behind him is O'Brien from Star Trek. I don't even watch Star Trek, and somehow I know the name of that character. I don't know which show, but I know there was an O'Brien in Star Trek, and that's him.
That was him.
What show is that? Is that Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, or what is it?
Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Oh, he was on both. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Here it is. Ellie Munoz says, Chief Miles O'Brien. Right?
Oh, look at that. He was in Con Air too.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a lot of things.
How do you say that first name? Colm Meaney. That's a great name.
It is.
Yeah, agreed. These movies did produce some good actors from the supporting cast. Yeah, this is a good movie. Sadly, there was a comment up here that I do think is right. This is before Steven Seagal disappeared up his own ass. Man, that's harsh. We love Seagal.
He did, man. He really did.
He was great in this movie. His first
that martial art is complicated, though. Do you know what I mean? To disappear, I mean, you must walk like a mantis and disappear up your own ass. That is a martial arts approach.
Jericho, let me ask you about this cross-dressing here that Busey does. Because I have a lot of Navy friends and family. Being a San Diegan, I'm very proud of being a San Diegan and a huge supporter of our military. I can't wait to go to the Miramar Air Show in a few weeks. You guys all know what that is. That's where the Top Gun used to be. The Naval Air Station in San Diego is now the Marine Air Station or whatever. And they do a show. You go sit on the runway in bleachers and you watch F-15s and Harriers, helicopters, Army Rangers parachuting. It's amazing. You get to sit in Humvees and hold on to all kinds of guns. It's a really fun thing to go do. I've taken my kids. I used to go when I was little. And I'm going now with my wife, but we paid the extra money to sit in the nice tent with the catered food. But I love my Navy. Let me ask you a thing I've heard about the Navy. When you go underway, which is the slang for crossing the equator, right? Is that
that's becoming a shellback?
A shellback, that's right. Mm-hmm. Don't you have to do all kinds of stuff like this, like wear a dress or eat a goldfish? Or I've heard all kinds of wacky stuff from different guys. My father-in-law told me they built a tunnel of cardboard boxes and filled it with the trash from the trash cans, and he had to crawl through it like a maze. Can you reveal to us what you had to do, or is that secret brotherhood stuff?
No, it's not secret brotherhood stuff, and I was actually quite disappointed because I was looking forward to that, not putting on a dress.
Yeah,
but
I kind of had that sense about you, Jericho, that wouldn't be what you were looking for.
He's more of a cape man, anyway.
Yeah, not trying to limit you as a person, just saying.
Don't pigeonhole me, all right? But I was looking forward to that hazing, crawling through the trash or something like that. But by the time I had gotten there, it was a bit of a kinder, gentler Navy. So we had like a celebration, when we crossed the equator, it became shellbacks, but it wasn't any of the hazing I was looking forward to.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I did cross the equator.
All right. So anyway, a beautiful looking Gary Busey comes out. He's talking to Tommy Lee Jones and the band. The revelry is in full swing. They're having a blast in honor of the captain, who's not made his appearance at the party yet.
No.
It's all the officers, all the sailors, the people that showed up on the helicopter, the mysterious people that came in. And you're about to find out why. Because Tommy Lee Jones is not really a blues singer, and he's a great harmonica player, though, in this scene. He asks who the highest ranking officer is, and then puts lead through his forehead, and strangely, the lead comes out the back of his head. So that wasn't very nice, Gary Busey, or Tommy Lee Jones.
If you look closely, Tommy Lee Jones is not a good harmonica player. He is not playing the harmonica.
He's not. No.
The character's supposed to be.
But this part, when I saw this as a 12-year-old, this was kind of shocking. This was a bit jarring right here because it is a party. You see Busey dressed up, you're like, oh man, he isn't an asshole. He does have a fun side, which is what everybody else was thinking in that room. And then he asked the guy to stand up, so you think it's going to be, hey, this officer here, give him a round of applause or some shit. It's so cool to see, you know, the officers kind of let their hair down a little bit. And then you see him get in his stance, and he pulls a gun out and shoots the dude in the forehead. And then the movie you thought you were watching has totally changed. Now it's some hostage shit. Now, and these dudes are savage. It changed in that moment.
I think in this masterfully timed picture, my daughter Minnie takes all the pictures for this show. She caught this guy, and he still has some thoughts going through his head, in addition to a 919 Parabellum bullet going through his head. What is he thinking, Sean Jericho? You look at his eyes. What's he thinking of Tommy Lee Jones right now?
What the fuck?
I'm going to go out and take an opinion further outside of my distinguished colleague to the north. He's thinking, Erica, like last thoughts.
Oh,
you know, just
okay.
Erica's tits.
Hold on, guys.
I missed.
Hold on. I will not end the show here, but this comment is so good I could, but I won't because I love what we're doing. Look at Prince Admiral Wackass. Now you can stay there under siege. All right, good night, everybody.
That's it. I'm out of here.
That was too perfect. Thank you, Prince Admiral
Thanks
Wackass.
for coming out.
We're going to Olive Garden.
He's looking at Busey going, she's kind of cute.
I hit it. That's what he's thinking. I hit it.
He said he can't play harmonica. That's why he capped him, because he made fun of his harmonica.
Oh, man. But that changed the movie right there. No more fun and games, no more singing, no more makeup in a dress. We're here to do some shit.
Right. So let's move it forward. And so those weren't waiters. And this is why Busey was insisting on his own waiters, his own entertainment, and all this stuff, and locking Ryback in that fridge. Ryback, who is just a cook. Remember that. He's just a cook.
Keep that in mind, people. All he does is cook.
Oh, here's another one. Am I wearing clean underwear? Antoine Dennison. I love the chat, by the way. Thank you guys all for being here so much. If you love this, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell for notification. We're having a lot of fun on the channel. Check out John is here, right? John, our great mod. You do such an amazing job. Can't you throw Sean's links in here and Jericho's? I want everyone here. If you love this, you will love subscribing to Jericho Green and Sean Thanjetti. Please check that out. But thank you, Antoine. Very funny. Very funny. Very funny. Okay, so we'll kind of pick it up here. So we see what's going on. It's a setup. They're taking over the ship. This ain't cool. And here we got like Huckleberry Jim or whatever he is down here. Well, gosh, Steven, do you think they're bad guys? I don't think those are really gunshots coming from upstairs.
He said, you're wrong, Ryback. Those are party poppers. Those are firecrackers.
He said they were making fajitas.
You idiot.
He would say fajitas.
Yeah, fajitas.
Some salsa. They're making salsa and fajitas. Yeah, that poor country bumpkin. He didn't see it coming. Seagal did, though. Seagal's in the cooler with what looks like an empty burlap sack on his shoulders, running in place, trying to keep warm, telling him, you need to go check it out.
Right. It wasn't empty to start with. It was actually filled with a couple wheels of cheese, and he just ate it to stay full, need a little energy. This is where Fat Seagal starts to happen, I think.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Steven Seagal was a fit, handsome, lithe, athletic dude. Then they locked him in this fridge to film this scene. And you don't know, it took over a week to film him in the fridge, and he just kept snacking the whole time. And that's how we got Fat Seagal. That's where that came from.
He was chewing the scenery, literally.
Right.
And in a film that he made about 5 years after this called Glimmer Man, which is a wonderful turd if you ever want to see that. There's a scene where he's eating the bread on the table. Like he just starts eating in the middle of the scene, starts eating the bread. So yeah, this was Seagal he was getting out of control.
Right. Oh, I love this comment from Uncle Al. Closest Seagal ever got to a Shakespearean monologue. LOL. You and I, we serve the same master, and he's a lunatic, and he's ungrateful.
That's right.
I like it.
That was etched somewhere. That's etched in a piece of granite somewhere.
That's right.
Fat Seagal's origin story.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually his autobiography called Steven Seagal, Chewing the Scenery. That's what it's called. You can get it on Audible. You can get it on Amazon Kindle. You can get it everywhere right now. So absolutely. So anyway, things have gone south. These terrorist dudes, they're murdering sailors, locking up sailors. I love this, how they're rappelling down the sides of the
why'd
ship.
they do that?
I have no idea, because these guys, I don't have a picture of it. They rappel down onto a balcony where other terrorists are just already standing.
Yeah,
So
why'd you guys?
Couldn't you just walk here like I did? Like, why did you have to?
And then it's after they've already let the cat out of the bag. So just walk down there.
Right. Oh, I love the.
Well, they were trying to stealthily follow up that loud gunfire by sneaking around the ship using I need the scene where the guy's tying the rope. He's getting himself all set up.
He's like, I didn't bring this rope for nothing. We're using this.
Exactly. We're rappelling today, Tom.
We're using it.
So Busey and his goons, they go into the captain's office. They kill the captain. They shoot him.
Damn it.
And they start looking through all this stuff because they're looking for the computer disks that have some codes on them. That's a great trope in these kind. There's your MacGuffin right there. So
always some computer disk.
Right.
It's always a disk back then.
Right. So they get a hold of it all, gives them total control of the ship, and it gives them access to some Tomahawk nuclear warhead tipped. I guess, would these be ICBMs or are they too small? Jericho, you're on.
No, they're too small to be ICBMs. ICBMs are huge.
Okay.
They come out of the missile silos and shit.
Just out of total nerd curiosity, what is the range on something like these Tomahawks? They can go thousands of miles, hundreds of miles. How far can they fly?
They go hundreds of miles. Yeah.
Okay.
You could be well away in the bosom of safety when you fire those things. And they go about 500 miles an hour. They're very fast.
And for just to satisfy my curiosity here, how do you aim at what you're aiming at? Do you have satellites? Do you use the AWAC?
That's all GPS, man.
It's all GPS.
Fire and forget. As you can see in the movie, one of the missiles goes around the coastline. It's like turning and shit.
Right.
So, no, these things, you give them their coordinates and they'll reach it. Right. Guaranteed.
Okay. Right. So they're taking over the ship, the bad guys, O'Brien, Stranix, is it Krill or Creel? I forgot.
Commander Krill.
Commander Krill, that's
what whales eat.
I know, that's what I kept thinking, man.
That's what I was a kid. That's how I remembered it. I was like, oh, like the krill, like the baby.
Right. And then the guy all the way on the right there, who's like the super computer nerd, he looks so much like a Nazi from Indiana Jones.
Can we just say?
Yeah, the guy's face melted.
Yeah.
But his name was Mr. Pitts. Probably pull that up, Mr. Pitts. But again, another action movie trope from the 90s. You got to have a nerd computer guy. You got to have a guy with just a few strokes on the keyboard. He can access it all. He can make it all work. He can do anything. Like, what's it, Seth Green? He was good for that, too. He was always the nerd in the van. Get me access to this. Click, 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 click. No problem. You're in. Right. Give me access. Give me the power over these. Get me into these traffic lights. Clickety clack. No problem. That's him right there. Beautiful.
Oh, man. My friend showed me a hilarious website in college. It's called hyperhacker.net, and I'll show it to you guys. I'll bring it on the screen real quick. This is it here. You just bring it up and you just go. You just write. I'm just going like this.
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, my friend showed me that in college. It's like a fake hacker website,
That is awesome.
And I've always wondered how they do that. Like in the movies, how do they put that gibberish on there where, it's just access denied or some fake, schematic or some shit like that? I always wonder how they do that.
Just computer animation, I'm sure. The actor's just playing it. The keyboard they're using probably isn't even connected to the computer. You know what I mean?
Tragic.
So I'm a little unclear on Stranix's motives here. I guess it doesn't matter. We're going to spoil it on anyway. He's CIA. That's what his deal is. And one of his handlers tried to have him assassinated. So this is his revenge. But I'm unclear on what his revenge is. He's going to steal the USS Missouri, all of its Tomahawks, and start World War III or something.
No, money.
I don't know what he wants.
He wants money. He wants money. And he wants destruction because he's going to blow up Honolulu and make millions of people go in the dark.
Right.
And he's also selling them to, Francois. Remember, he was on the phone and shit. He's like, Muhammad, he's going to pay more or whatever. So it's money, and it's kicking the CIA, the federal government, in the nuts on the way out the door.
Yeah, and I was telling you earlier, Sean, it's funny that the 5 Seagal movies, these first 5, the first one, Above the Law, is all about the CIA being evil and corrupt, and then this last one is the same thing. That's interesting that's in both. You know what I mean?
There's a theme in these two, which I want to point out, that because we talk about Van Damme movies and Seagal movies, those are kind of, our anchors for this show. And I realized that the biggest difference between Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme is the fact that Van Damme always has to introduce himself, and everyone always has to introduce him to other people.
Right.
Seagal, it's never the case. Oh shit, it's Hatcher. Oh shit, it's Casey Ryback. Like,
Hey,
he's a legend from the second the Warner Brothers logo comes up. He's a legend.
It's
your
John
fault
Hatcher.
for
Hey,
not
that's
knowing
John
him.
Hatcher.
Yeah, I got John Hatcher here.
And you know what, Gabe? I can't believe that you were going to mention Above the Law and just gloss over that bizarro Chevy Chase, who was the bad guy.
Yes.
As a kid, I was like, "Is that Chevy Chase?" But it wasn't.
Is Zagon or Dagon? I forget which way you say
Some
it.
shit. But he looked like a bizarro Chevy Chase.
He looked like before, and I don't think they even know how to do it today in 2022. But he looked like they just discovered plastic surgery that week.
He was the first one.
He was He's
He
patient
like
zero,
that
man.
boy with a facelift.
Shit.
I mean, there was some shit going on.
When I was little, we weren't the richest people growing up. My grandma took me to the beauty salon to get a free haircut when I was a little kid. You know what I mean? From one of the beauty salon students. Maybe he got free plastic surgery from somebody learning.
You want it?
Yeah, Zagon was let me bring a picture up. Let's see.
Yeah, man. That was something else.
What's wrong? What happened, man? Oh, I caught Zagon.
Get away from me, man. I don't want to get that shit.
Oh, man, it's airborne Zagon.
No.
Zagon.
Here we go. Little Zagon.
Yeah, dude. It was like Chevy Chase's dad or his uncle or some shit.
Yeah. He's a strange looking man.
Yeah.
If you hang Chevy Chase's face out the window,
you know what he looks like?
Driving, that's what it does.
He looks like Chevy Chase and Ricardo Montalban combined.
Right.
If Chevy Chase and Ricardo Montalban fugged, this is what you get, man.
That's right. Holy cow.
Well, the real difference, according to Uncle Al, is Van Damme never assaulted John Leguizamo. Did Steven Seagal hurt John Leguizamo? I don't know about this.
Steven Seagal hurt a lot of people.
He hurt a lot of people.
I'm sorry I don't remember who it was, but somebody a couple comments ago put the quote in there that Tommy Lee Jones says to the CIA dude on the phone who's in the big control center. He says, "You tried to kill me, you son of a bitch. Welcome to the revolution." You could almost see he was like was gonna start crying almost. Like he was very serious. Like, you tried to kill me, man, after all the shit I've done for you, and you sent somebody to kill me. Like, he was hurt.
Yeah,
he was hurt. And the guy who he was talking to, the CIA dude, was also in a movie that I hope we get to do one day if you haven't already. He was the Italian mob boss in Rapid Fire.
Oh, yeah. Shit, I'm a massive Brandon Lee
with
fan.
The great Brandon Lee.
That one, Rapid Fire and Showdown in Little Tokyo. Starring.
We did that one. We'll do it again.
I'm sorry I missed it, guys.
We
have to do it again.
Okay, so I got into action movies at about 12 years old. Riding home on the school bus, my best friend would have me over, and we'd rent one every Friday night. The main movie we watched was Showdown Little Tokyo. Dude. I've seen that 8 million times, that movie. And besides that, it was Kickboxer and Bloodsport. So those three were in heavy rotation, those three movies.
That time, I heard you coming. And as a kid, I was like, what is that?
Fucking hell, yeah. Oh, dude. There was that. And then there was me and my friends, down in in the backyard trying to do that lead jab, spin, 1-2, spin around with a backhand. And fucking coming in the house, just fucked up, man. Oh, man, Lonnie, you knocked the dip out of my mouth.
Oh. Showdown in Little Tokyo. I'm very sorry I missed that, gentlemen.
Yeah, we can always redo it, and you can add your flavor to it. So the baddies, they don't, they're taking over the ship and all that. And then Krill, Busey, remembers, oh no, we locked up he's only a cook, Ryback. So they tell this kid he's going to be relieved. Tommy Lee Jones makes the choice. We're going to smoke Seagal. So kid, you're going to be relieved. these guys come down to relieve him, and they relieve him of his life. He doesn't have to worry about any future responsibilities.
And that's Kate's and Ziggs.
Yeah.
They said send Kate's, send Ziggs when he was eating a mouthful of roast beef.
That's right.
By the way, man, can I just say something? Listen, that roast beef looked great.
It looked delicious.
I know. I just kept looking at that going, if dinner was that being thrown on a control panel, you know what I mean? Like, somebody throw that on a giant iPad, and I'm going to eat that.
I'll eat every bit of it.
Yeah, you guys can't see it here, but what is this area of the ship called with all the controls on the map, Jericho? That area. Where the captain sits there. What is that called?
Well, usually that's the bridge where he drives the ship from.
Right.
But this looks like the control room. This is like all the radars and all that kind of shit. This is where the CTs, the cryptotechs, and the fire controlmen would be. The fire controlmen are the ones that shoot all the big guns on the ship. The cannons, the Sea Whiz, that gun, the minigun that shoots the plane out of the sky. That's called a Sea Whiz. That's where that is. That you need clearance and a code to the door to get into there.
Okay.
And side note, I would love to have somebody throw me a handful of roast beef like the black guy in this movie.
Right.
Remember, he cuts a big ass piece and throws it to me, just catches it in his hand and fucking rips it apart.
I think from Shant and I, we make comic books, and storytelling is so important. You have to be able to draw, but you have to be able to tell a story with those drawings. And cinema and comics are cousins. They're visual storytelling. And I think the whole thing about these marauding Vikings, Tommy Lee Jones' crew, they take over the castle, right? Let's use some metaphor here. And they steal the huge, delicious dinner that was for the captain that was murdered. And I love that they bring it into this control room. And they got the roast beef and the shrimp and all this stuff. And like Vikings of old, they're just sitting there gnawing on like red meat. It's red roast beef. And right behind Busey, you see I forget the black guy's name, but like you said, Jericho, Tommy Lee Jones cuts him a big piece and he throws it, and the guy's just like, he just
fucking catches it in his hand and just takes a bite. And then Tommy Lee Jones, where he sends him, and Gary Busey's like, no, I should go with him. He's like, no, they can handle it. They can kill 20 Marines. And he takes a big bite, and 100 cooks. And he sends them down there to their death. And speaking of that black guy behind you, I don't know his real name in life, but I can tell you his character's name, Shadow.
Shadow.
That dude,
interesting.
Name is Shadow.
Dear Lord.
Now, I don't know how much you know about comic books, Jericho. I don't know if you know, but there is a thing in comics when a character is black, they always add black to their name. Black Panther, Black Lightning, Black who else? Black Manta. There's a bunch of them, and it's like he's a black guy. You don't have to say black. You could have just called him the Panther. You know what I mean?
A lack of creativity there.
Right. Yeah, I feel like he's called Shadow.
His name is here it is. Yeah, his name is Eddie Bo Smith, and this is where I remember him from. Okay, listen, guys. The plot freaking thickens. People do not understand. Where do you know Eddie Bo Smith from?
I don't know.
I knew him from something. I'm going to see if the chat can guess.
Wait, hold on. Let me think. Where have I seen
he has in common with two other actors in this.
Oh, where have I seen that guy? I'm not looking at
Is he from The Fugitive?
He's from The Fugitive. Do you know who he was in The Fugitive?
I don't know.
I got you, man.
Really?
He's the guy who he says, be good, after he helps Harrison Ford out of his chains. He's one of the prisoners on the bus. And all I could think of when I saw him in this flick, when I was watching him on screen, is he was sorely underused. I kept waiting. Even when I was watching this movie, I was going, I'm waiting for his big scene. Is he going to get a cool fight scene? Because he looked like he could deliver great lines. And I go, am I crazy? I feel like this guy is a really good actor. And I just was looking him up, and I went, oh, my God, he was in The Fugitive, and he was fantastic acting across from Harrison Ford in that. His name is Eddie Bo Smith Jr. That's his stage name. He was born Edward William Armstrong Jr., but his acting name is Eddie Bo Smith Jr., and he was in The Fugitive with two other actors. This is crazy, man.
Right. You know, I thought that guy, because right off the bat, once you find out Tommy Lee Jones is the bad guy, the main bad guy, you know he's going to have to square off.
That's right. I've been following this guy's career.
But I thought they would have used that guy. They would have used Shadow as kind of okay, here you go, guys. You want to see Seagal fight somebody who's comparable? Here you go. And then we'll finish off with Tommy Lee Jones, because he's got a showdown with the main bad guy for sure. That has to happen. But I thought a fight scene with that guy would have been awesome because he was just as big as Seagal, if not bigger. But yeah, you're right, Sean. He was incredibly underused.
None the Miser may have cracked the case of the savage eating of Tommy Lee Jones and his men. They had to eat fast before Seagal.
No, too soon. Too soon.
Hurry up, cut more meat. Hurry up.
Snake Oiler asked, "Is Black Manta a black guy?" 2017. Here's a page of a comic book of Aquaman I did for DC Comics. Boom. Black Manta's a very black guy. Yes, indeed.
He's extremely black.
Yes. A ton of black jokes came in my head. I will keep them to myself.
He's no Shadow, though. And you're right. What the hell? But here's the other thing, too.
Shadow.
You take the name The Shadow.
They could have called him like Brother Midnight.
Yeah.
Brother Black Shadow.
But you look at this, though, and again, though, like, I just want to point this out. We've got the Hitler Youth all grown up right there in the backstage right there. And my question becomes, we've got Chief O'Brien, that dude. If you look at this collection, I'm like, it seems a little light. I'm not trying to knock these guys, but I'm like, where's the heavy? It's kind of like, the grown-up gang from Animal House took over the ship. And, you kind of feel like an actor with that level of gravitas could have come in there and been like, we got to kill his ass or something.
Right.
But instead you've got this nerdy guy going, well, I just don't know where the codes are, sir. It's like, get some testosterone in here.
His official character name is Shadow, Black, Dark, Midnight.
Right.
Pitch. I mean, damn, they just threw all the adjectives in.
They ran out. They were like, give them all to him.
Paul is saying his character in The Fugitive was darkness. Paul, you pulling my leg.
Darkness is spreading. No, I don't know. Check it out. They did name him Shadow in this one. So anything could happen.
So anyway, they send these two down to take care of the poor Marine kid. He gets shot, and then they go after Seagal, but he ambushes him with inside the walk-in freezer. Sorry, the walk-in.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Cates and Ziggs, they tell the Marine dude, get down on your knees, turn around, get down on your knees, cross your legs. Then they step back and put, 75 rounds through this dude's back. And then after Steven Seagal, this next scene that you show is with Seagal whooping ass. He checks on the kid and checks his pulse. That dude, there's blood coming out of his mouth. He's in a pool of blood. There's 48 holes in him. He's gone, Steven.
Right.
That was like watching them put down Old Yeller, by the way. That was some cold-blooded shit. That kid is just kind of like, they're like, give me your gun. He's like, okay. It was like they shot Opie point blank.
Right.
Like, this was seriously, this was like, all-American, like, little boy who's like, he looked like a Norman Rockwell drawing of a guy who just enlisted. His ears are out here like Opie, and they killed him.
They're like, it's just party poppers. Those are firecrackers. They're wrong. Nah, man.
Oh,
and then that part right here, right before this, it's from the clip in the beginning, from the intro, where that metal door swings down. That dude's face is gone. That thing must have weighed 100 pounds. If that swings down in your face, you are no longer a threat.
Yeah. That was like
Paul says he wasn't checking his pulse. He was making sure the kid didn't have any extra Snickers bars on him.
Because he was chewing when he got shot. He wanted to make sure he didn't swallow it yet.
My drink, laughing at that.
He was going to take that food out of his mouth if it was still in there.
You got any gum in there? I know you got gum in there.
He don't waste shit. Don't let nothing go to waste.
Yeah, I like. Hold on, there was a really good one. He says, Mike says, look at those empty freezer shelves after the doors are open. So Seagal's just been having his own party in there.
He's gonna take your time, Marine. Don't worry about me.
Listen, you gotta understand. You're gonna come for us as soon as I finish this pot roast. Take the pies out of the oven and slide them under the door.
So he faces off with the two mercs in the kitchen. Yeah. It's a fun scene. He has a great throw. He just laces this throw and nails this guy right in the neck. It's pretty awesome.
And they set it up earlier. Remember, he threw it at the wooden the target, and he right in the middle. So it set it up that he's good with this shit.
Right. He's chopping carrots in that opening scene in the kitchen, the jovial scene where they're dancing and there's a rap song playing. And I think that's the origin of Do-Rag Seagal also. how he does those movies with DMX and Ja Rule later.
This movie is where it all started.
And but yeah, he throws this same knife at a big wooden target with 2 red circles on it. So they establish that he's quite the knife thrower, and knives will come in huge at the climax.
And that was you never seen that before. You never seen a mainstream action star fighting with knives,
right?
Like doing this kind of shit with knives. Like he's very talented. He broke a lot of molds when he started doing that.
So far, everything has been quarantined to just the ship. Nobody knows anything's going wrong. No one knows about the setup. And I believe some Navy patrol fighter jets are flying by to and
they're looking for the helicopter.
Oh,
the helicopter didn't come back.
That's right.
They sent them to look for the helicopter. It's an F-15. And so this scene right here, it shows them shooting the F-15 out of the sky.
Right.
So the gun they use, it has a big white dome. That's a radar under there. And then it has a Gatling gun barrel that comes out.
What is that called, that gun?
It's called a CIWS. C-I-W-S stands for Close-In Weapon System. So airplanes, if anybody shoots any kind of missiles or anything like that, anything in the air, at 10 miles, this thing starts tracking. So you'll see, you can't see it with the naked eye, but when you're underway, you'll see this thing just go zzz, zzz, and it's just tracking whatever it's whatever's in the air, whatever's in the area. So you'll see it moving. Yeah. So these things shoot it's a 20 millimeter, so the bullets are like almost a foot long. They're depleted uranium tips. They can go through 1.5 feet of steel from like 2 miles away. 75 rounds a second. It is nothing to fuck with. When we would shoot, it's called a CIWS fire, where they test the weapons. We're out in the middle of nowhere. We ain't gonna hit shit. And my shop that I worked in was probably 25 yards or so away from where these were mounted. And we had to stay inside the shop and hold shit on the shelves, because when that thing went off, they would all start bouncing. And it would shake stuff off the shelf. And if you were outside, you had to wear earplugs and then wear earmuffs over that, because it was so fucking loud. Like these things sound like when you leave your phone on the table and it vibrates, but 1,000 times louder.
I haven't watched this video yet, but I've seen these. I've seen a very similar weapon on the news in Afghanistan, mounted like on a base or something. It wasn't on a ship, but it looked identical. And it was a report about 2-3 months ago. And they could shoot down planes and they could shoot down missiles because it does computer aiming. But the article I was reading was saying these bullets, the uranium, they're 20 centimeters long. They said it was like $30,000 to shoot down one plane. To shoot at one plane like 3 bursts, it was like $10,000 a burst is what they were saying on the news. Wow. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You better not miss with this thing.
They're deadly accurate.
I love this weapon. Let's hit play. I don't know what this video is gonna do. I hope it shows a demonstration. Let's see it. Let's hit play. Come on. Riveting.
Come on.
Hold on.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, you don't want no parts of that. You don't want no parts of that. Under that white dome, that's where the radar is.
Right.
Man, it's deadly.
So nothing stands a chance when this thing shoots at it. You got to be kidding me.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're in, a tank, a building, a plane, a ship.
Right.
It does not matter. Those bullets are going right through it like a hot knife through butter.
It can basically, it can go through anything, but except a person with a perfect ponytail. That shit isn't getting through. That ponytail gets swung around and knocked those bullets aside like a tiger.
You didn't let me finish, Sean. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say anything but a well-manicured ponytail.
There you go. There you go.
I need to see that picture. I'm going to make that happen, Jericho. It's happening.
Oh, my God. Prince Admiral Wackass. My buddy was shooting a RPG launcher mounted on a tank in Afghanistan. The round didn't go off and just bored through the dude's dome. Pretty rough.
Yeah, those things have molten copper in them. Those RPG rounds. And when they shoot a tank, it just goes through the tank and then sprays molten copper inside the tank. So you'll see a bunch of little tiny holes with, whatever temperature copper melts at. I'm sure it's a lot. And it just sprays molten copper inside the tank. So if you're in there, it's a wrap.
I don't know if this is real or just apocryphal, but there's a quote attributed to my favorite scientist, Nikola Tesla. I don't know if it's a real quote, but it's, "You will live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension."
That was him.
So the CIWS is a man-made horror. Definitely.
It's great when you're over here. When you're on our side, the Sea Whiz is great.
Yeah,
but if you're on the business end of that thing, you're gonna find out who your maker is very shortly.
You will
I
know.
want to point out that it was very nihilistic, that statement, because he had never even imagined somebody like Erica Leniak. So Tesla had his limits, you know.
He wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, that's right. Can't imagine it.
Okay,
that guy.
Right. So once the jet is shot down, then now the authorities know. Now everybody, I guess, at the Pentagon or whatever, I don't know where these guys are. The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer.
Yes.
These guys, they have a meeting with top brass from the military, I suppose, top Navy admirals, and maybe Army and other. I don't know, Joint Chiefs. I have no idea what would really happen. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's a movie. This guy, he's a big time admiral, though, right? And he wants answers.
He's a 1 star. He's big time. He's big time.
Okay. Is 1 star the highest or is 4? Which way does it go?
1 star is a rear admiral, and then you have rear admiral upper half, rear admiral lower half, and then 4-star admiral. That's as high as you can go in peacetime. The only time you see a 5-star admiral is during war.
Oh, okay. So they have their little conference with a bunch of not officials, but I don't know, with authorities, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, the ship's taken over by terrorists. Who's the guy on there? It's a CIA guy, Stranix, Tommy Lee Jones, and and this is Tommy Lee Jones' old boss at the CIA,
the one who had him.
Right,
what an oily man too.
Right. So on one, it's interesting. On one half of the table, you have a couple CIA guys, and on the other half, you have like the Navy guys, and they're kind of going. It seems like there's a fog of war there. That the Navy doesn't really know what the hell has the CIA been doing. What's your deal with Stranix? They're in the dark. But they find out Ryback is there. Someone in the chat put the quote, Ryback is there, or whatever. It's a great quote. I don't remember it though. But
the guy who's sitting next to the admiral. He goes, you know somebody named Casey Ryback? He's our Chief Ryback? Yeah, he's one of the best. Wish we had him on this mission. Well, I think we might have him. And then they tap him in on the SEAL sat phone.
What happened to Casey Ryback? Why is he a cook now? It happened over Macho Grande. I kept waiting for them to bring Macho Grande into this. Unfortunately, it was Panama. But you can't win them all.
Antoine Dennison says, I'm a rear admirer.
Close.
Antoine, I'm a 5-star rear admirer in or out of wartime. You know what I mean?
I want to tell you something, guys. So, they're important. There are a couple important movies in my life that help define who I am as a person. One of them was the famous crocodile attack scene in Crocodile Dundee.
Yep.
Another one, I think, and this one I don't know if I can defend perfectly, but Elizabeth Shue and what my wife will always describe as an ill-fitting swimsuit in Karate Kid 1. But Erica Leniak coming out of this cake, the fact that they chose a more artistic method, said everybody shoots from the front. Let's see what we can do here. God bless you. Under siege.
And quick story about that crocodile scene in Crocodile Dundee. That came out in 1986. My wife was 6 years old. Her brother was 4 years old. And the part where he stabs the knife into the crocodile's head, their house exploded. There was a propane leak the night before. Propane leak the night before. So all night long, propane gas is filling underneath the house. In the morning, her mom turned on the hot water. That kicked on the hot water heater. There was a flame, and it was right when he shoved that knife in the crocodile's head. The house goes.
My God!
The couch flips over backwards. My wife and her brother were under the couch. Her dad got blown into the ceiling, and his head went through the drywall.
Get the fuck out of here!
This is like a horror movie.
Her parakeets, their birds, were out in the front yard. Bruh.
Dear God, I'm so glad she's okay.
Everybody's fine.
Many years ago, but this is the most horrifying thing I've ever heard.
Wow.
Everybody was fine except the parakeets. But all the humans live, man. So every time we watch that movie, of course, we remember the time the house blew up.
Damn.
I wouldn't watch that movie anymore.
That reminds me, I lived on a corner growing up. But it wasn't like a corner out. It was a corner in. You know what I mean? It was a street curving. So if you were driving down to first, you turn in front of my house, you could ostensibly crash into my house. Didn't happen the whole time I lived there except for once. I was making a comic book called Dragon Clan. I was 12 years old. I was writing and drawing it with my brother. And the bad guy's trying to bribe the main girl, who's the group of freedom fighters, and she slaps him at this fancy party where he's trying to bribe her like a James Bond scene. And we wanted the word crack or smack or something like that. And we wanted a sound effect. And I asked my brother, well, how do you spell crack? All of a sudden we heard, ah! And I turned to my brother and go, that's how you spell it. And then I look out my second story bedroom window, and there are 2 legs hanging out the hatchback of my mom's Ford Escort. Some young guy, he didn't die.
Oh,
but
my Lord.
He was test driving a motorcycle he wanted to buy, miscalculated, coming around that corner, and just drove right into the back of our car.
Oh,
So,
my Lord.
Yeah. But I'll never forget that moment. It was just like the
wearing
crocodile.
red shoes.
No, but it was just like the Crocodile D moment where the knife blows up the house. I'm like, how do you spell crack? Crack. And I'm like, that's how you spell it.
Hey, man. Hey, let me ask you guys this. How old were you when you realized, oh, shit, I can draw?
Oh, man.
Oh, here's a funny one. I was watching Voltron. Must have been 3 or 4 years old. And I really like Lance, the blue guy. And I drew a picture of him, and it didn't look like him. And I took the paper to my mom crying, demanding to know, why doesn't my drawing look like the one on the TV? So I've always known I could draw, and I've always been overly confident about it. So much so that I was outraged at 3 that my drawings didn't look just like what I saw on TV. I was like, what the hell? I put the pencil on the paper.
You're tough on yourself, man.
This shit is supposed to work.
I was drawing for as long as I could hold a pencil, and I couldn't write for shit. I had terrible hand control, interestingly enough. And I always tell people I did not know how to stop drawing. I just did. So it was like it was never a decision. I imagine it's a lot like, anybody who picks up a sport or anything else, right? You're throwing the ball around, and you're like, this is what it is. This is what I got to do. And it's the kind of thing that is the weirdest thing about it, I can say, is that for me anyway, is that it's both, what I like to do to relax and what I do for work. So sometimes that's an odd thing. I'll take a break from drawing, working on my comic, to do a painting like I'm doing right now to relax. It's a very weird thing. But I can't quite describe it, but I'm sure it's a lot like, how do people realize they're mechanically inclined? How do people realize like they have an understanding? You just do it,
But art is unique. Art is unique because you can take what you're feeling, you could have a thought in your head and make it appear. Like people who, like you said, mechanically inclined, well, you can't go make that engine look like a fucking action hero or something, or you're angry, so I'm gonna go out there and twist some bolts. But if you're feeling something, you can draw that. That always seemed like such a relief or a release or just a way to get shit out. And it blows my mind how we can both be holding a pencil, but my brain cannot make my hand do what you guys do. I cannot draw for shit. And I've tried, let me give this a try. Let me try to sketch this. You watch these stupid ass videos. Oh, this is how you draw Garfield or some shit. And I can't. I just can't. So I've always just been amazed by people who it's just so effortless. Like you said, you draw to relax. Like it just comes effortlessly to some people.
Here's the best way I could put it. There's a lot of people on YouTube, Jericho. If someone talked to you about your success as a commentator and as somebody having conversation, and they said, they said to you like it's cracking a safe, Jericho, how do I get to where you are? When did you know you knew how to speak off the cuff and think and rapidly process information? And when did you learn how to be a good communicator? You'd go, I just knew how to talk when I was young. I worked on it. I was not as effective when I started, but I know how to command an audience of 300,000 plus subscribers' attention. Most people can't turn on a camera and do that.
Right.
And it was about the same age. I was about 3 years old when I realized I had a poem to memorize for Easter Sunday. And I got up there, Easter Sunday, the church is packed. All the sinners come to church on Easter Sunday.
They still have the stamp from the nightclub on their wrist.
Yep. In the Catholic Church, you dip your hand in, it burns me. By the time I get there,
I was like, shit.
Sorry.
Why does this side of the church smell like Hennessy? But
no.
I got up there, 3 years old. I memorized my poem. I remember walking around the house saying it. I get up there in front of the mic. There got to be a few hundred people in there. There's like people sitting in the aisles and shit. People coming in from inside, like leaning the door. It was packed.
Yeah.
And I got up there and I said, "Good morning." And it was like, "Man, good morning." And I said, "Oh, let me try that one more time. Good morning." And then everybody started laughing. And I knew right there, oh, I can control you motherfuckers if I want to. You know, that you can control their emotions.
But career-wise, I want to tell you guys in the chat, when he was in the Navy, he was nothing special. He was just a cook.
Right.
Meanwhile, Jericho takes off that hat, flowing ponytail, knives out the yin-yang.
Yeah.
Look out.
Yeah. He was trying to be humble and say that he wasn't a Navy.
Stop Jericho with that chef's hat on in the kitchen. It's gotta happen.
That's
with that knife.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Early in the show, he was trying to say that he was never really a Navy SEAL. I saw you winking though, Jericho.
We did. Yeah.
I saw the
Jericho, we got it. You weren't a Navy
You weren't
SEAL.
there. You weren't there. SEAL Team 6.
I came across. I'm glad.
Just a humble cook. Make you some bouillabaisse.
Exactly. I gotta make about 4 million metric tons of bouillabaisse. And then he gets out this tiny little crock pot.
Fucking teaspoon of bouillabaisse. That's not 50 gallons.
Oh,
son of a bitch.
Cases can't measure.
all right. So they've tried to kill Seagal. They shoot down the fighter that was doing like where the hell the helicopter go. The bad guys are telling the CIA and the admirals, "You're fucked. We hate you guys." He's mad at the CIA guy for trying to assassinate him. Something I'm not sure why the CIA tried to assassinate him. Probably to clean up loose ends, dirty stuff they were up to, or maybe he's just a rabid dog. It's unclear to me. Maybe I forgot a line or two. But so they're panicking. This guy, I love him because he plays. The emotional state this character in is great because he is freaked out, but he is like trying to control it. He's playing two emotions at once. Of this guy is terrified, but he's trying his hardest not to fucking shit his pants.
This dude is a personification of the duck. Yes. He's calm and he's fucking freaking out at the same time.
Right.
Because when they get Seagal on the phone, he's like, "Wait, we don't know this guy. Don't tell him anything." Like, dude, relax.
This guy sounds like the man who ran off with my ex-wife. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Wait a second. Wait. You skipped an image there. We need to go back.
No, we're not there just yet. Well, what are they shooting down here? Are they testing a rocket or what were they doing? I forgot.
Taking out
no, they were shooting him.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they were shooting him just to show him we got control.
Right.
We got control of the ship.
Right. So to threaten the authorities, they fire one of the missiles off just to show.
No, don't they blow up their tracking one of their tracking stations? I think
is that what they blow up?
Yeah, because they're looking at a screen and they go, "We just lost our something."
Oh yeah. Now we're blind or something. Yeah, that's right. Now we're blind. There's always a scene where we're blind. We got no eyes and ears.
Right.
And then it cuts over to their friend who's blind in the room. Come on, man.
That's fucked up.
Can't see
I'm right here.
No more.
I'm right here, guys.
So Seagal, he gets himself some weapons and he comes out of the lower deck or wherever the kitchen, or I guess the mess. What is it called? The kitchen? The mess is where you eat.
The galley.
The galley. I knew there was a word.
Mess decks is where you eat. And another classic action movie trope. After he kills Cates and Ziggs, what does he do? He takes their gun and their ammunition and their radio. They always do that shit. I love the stripping of the dead bad guy scene.
Right. A little nod to Die Hard there, taking the radio. And
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of those.
So
he jumps over the boat.
Talking some shit. Yeah, talking some shit to the bad guy over the radio too. That's another classic one.
It's a little Casey Ryback McLean.
Yes, and he now starts the taking out the bad guys one by one.
Right, that's fun. And he ends up back into the whatever deck it was where the big party was. Mm-hmm. There are dead sailors in there, and there's a big not ubiquitous, sticking out like a sore thumb, a big cake, and he bumps into it and it starts playing music. I don't have a clip of that. And out of it comes our friend.
Yeah, he kicks it. He kicks the cake out of the way, and then that starts the music, and obviously the Dramamine or whatever drugs they gave her have worn off, and she's ready to go.
Whatever Gary Busey gave her didn't kill her; it made her stronger. And and I remember seeing this scene, and I gotta tell you guys this. This is a thing I keep thinking about. You got everybody just full stop needs to understand this. This
Hold on.
Oh yeah, here you go. Yes, she got that right.
The ship came. That's how good she
I'm
was.
telling you,
Hold
man.
on. Let me put these pictures in the correct order. Hold on. Okay.
I hope it's like a flip book.
There we go.
And then that happened.
Oh,
That's right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You see? Yeah, okay. Anyway, what
Talk
saying,
about
buddy?
your booyah base. Anyway.
hey.
I got your booyah base right here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm guessing some of you may remember this scene. This is like we don't even see this very often anymore. This is an absolutely exceptionally beautiful woman. And this is the kind of thing that you would see in an action movie. And she was sexy. She showed off her body in this scene, which she had done before. But the biggest thing about it is she is cute. She is fun. She is a lighthearted element to this story. And it really did give this movie some added flavor. We had not seen a female lead like this ever in a Seagal film. Right. They were either depressed, terrified, whatever. And she was this unbelievably cute, sexy woman. And I just say, my goodness, I think I should paint this person.
Right.
That's it. That's all.
And she wasn't trying to compete with him.
Yes.
She wasn't trying to prove herself. Give me the gun. No.
Yeah. I don't need no man.
Prince Admiral Wackass says, wait, is this the Rear Admiral?
It should be. If it wasn't before, it is now. I salute that.
Mike,
America.
Mike noticed, and I noticed she is wearing some golden anchor earrings. You'll see it. And so he takes the cake. She comes out. She still doesn't know what's happened because the sleeping drugs, and she's dancing.
Her eyes are closed.
She's not wearing a shirt or a bra, by the way. She's just wearing that jacket. And she keeps her eyes closed, and she's kind of writhing and undulating and other words like that. And Seagal comes around to the front of her. Hold on, where do I have this? What
a dick, too. What a dick.
No.
Did you need to put that gun in her face like that? She's obviously not a threat.
Right.
Why would you stick that MP5 basically in her mouth? Like, chill out, Steve. She's not one of the bad guys.
I need that movie with you and Steven Seagal. Chill out, Steve.
Shit.
What would you have said if she was just wearing jeans and a sweater, Sean?
No, I can't say that. I got kids. Anyway.
Man.
Cute is cute.
Yeah, cute is cute. And dude, let me tell you this. Who were we talking about before? I forget what we were talking about. Was it on this show we were talking about? God, I was on another show one time, and they were talking about how every girl in the 80s, there was a cute, hot girl who wore a sweater bigger than a tent, and it didn't seem to matter to us, man. So yeah,
right.
I'd be good with her.
Yeah.
Just a sweater, though, right?
Right. Right.
But I thought it was a little aggressive to stick that gun in her face.
Yeah.
She's obviously not one of the bad guys.
He should have said to her, "Party's over, babe." Right?
Well, she couldn't hear him because he had a silencer on it, and it's absolutely silent. Everything gets quiet. Your voice.
Like a whisper. You hear nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
So then does he go and make the explosives in the kitchen and all that next? Is that what they do next? Or do they kind of scope around?
Not quite.
Not yet.
First, they acquire some more equipment, and they go to this little, this little safe space he has where the bad guys don't seem to go. And he goes in there, and he starts explaining to her, stay behind me, hug the wall. You have one switch for automatic, one switch for semi-automatic. I want you to keep semi-automatic as each time you depress the trigger, one round goes off. He breaks all that shit down to her. And then she gears up, and they start going through the ship, looking for the shit they need. She says, why do you have me carrying everything? All right, here, you take the gun. You kill whoever we run into.
Beautiful.
No thanks.
That's right. That was a beautiful reenactment.
Thank you. I've been working on it, guys. This isn't about
seriously. You guys, for those of you guys who don't understand, you can always tell when somebody like eats, sleeps, and breathes action movies, We know this stuff. Like, we could tell you if somebody's running across, like, I could probably, get the rhythm of John McClane running across a metal grate in a particular scene in Die Hard inside the Nakatomi building. It is. It just is. We all know what that is.
Awesome, man. And then, like you mentioned, Gabe, the bomb building scene. That's another classic action movie trope. The montage music, the guitar and shit.
Right.
And he's showing you how to make like a homemade bomb with like household appliances. I love it, man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
The bomb in the galley where he takes a coffee cup, puts the metal scrub pad in there, dumps some random liquids that I guess are flammable, which you would find in a kitchen, and then puts it in the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. You did say John McClane and not John McClane. John
No,
didn't notice that.
Different.
He's a
Yeah.
different- he's a
No,
different
it was
John.
John McClane, not McCain. McCain, he couldn't have done that.
Hell no.
If this movie was made today, Brie Larson would play the Seagal role, and Seth Rogen is the playmate. You know what, Paul? I want to ban you from the channel, not for anything you did, but for putting that in the universe. How dare you say that? Don't give them ideas.
The sad thing,
we love you, Paul. I'm just kidding.
the sad thing is, Paul is right.
He's absolutely right. That's why I don't want him saying it out loud. Oh, coming to Disney Plus. Under Siege.
Brie Larson is
And here would be the trailer. And Brie Larson, she kind of, she used the MP5 and she takes out a couple bad guys. She's like, not bad for a girl, huh?
Yeah.
Some line like that.
Don't mansplain to me.
Oh, it's a
Coming
Marvel.
to Disney Plus, Chapter 11.
Ew.
Did you see today they delayed the Aquaman and the Shazam movies even further? So,
yeah, well, they got to Photoshop out fucking Amber Turd. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, Batgirl, she sent out some shockwaves. They were like, "Oh, we made this bullshit too. We better not put this out."
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's got the little red star on it there, the submarine.
Commie.
What would that be? North Korean or I don't know what they're trying to imply. Russian. I don't know who they're saying. But they're coming to pick up some of their nukes. You know what I mean? This is coming to pick up a special delivery that they're buying.
Wait a minute now.
Am I wrong?
Red star, that makes you think either, like you said, North Korea, Russia, some commie country, right?
Right.
But later in the movie, when they're having some malfunctions with the submarine, the arm won't go down,
right?
Because of whatever.
He's French, right?
He's speaking Italian to the guy.
That's right.
He's all telling, then he's like, Antonio, and all that shit. I'm like, wait a minute, you got this multinational group of fucking, missile stealers or some shit.
Maybe they're just mercs or something. I don't know.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion came to apparently terrorist groups in these movies first. Look at Die Hard. There's very little diversity in the heroes, but when you get to the terrorists, they're like, "Where's martial arts guy? Where's Luigi? You got that frog over here who's the bomb specialist. Bonjour." That's like, what the hell?
None the Miser tells us that they say best Korea in the movie. So there you go. There you go.
That red star or some commie shit. Stars, sickles, hammers. It's all
so now the bad guys got to work on building this like system of I-beams that are going to carry the missiles out of the ship. So they start full on like construction work, and they're cutting beams and hanging jibs and pulleys and all this stuff. They're kind of discussing what they're going to do here, selling these rockets off to these bad guys,
which look cool. When they have like the shots where they pulled away and you see the sparks from all the welding and shit that's going on, that shit look cool.
Right. Right. So as the bad guys work on their plan to extricate these rockets from the ship, are they rockets, Jericho? That's the right word?
Tomahawks. Tomahawk missiles.
Nuclear. What's the difference between a rocket and a missile? And that's not a setup for a joke.
I think rockets are smaller.
Okay.
Much smaller.
Oh, a rocket launcher. That would be shoulder mounted, right?
Or even having like on helicopters, I have like the Apaches have rocket launchers, but they're hella small. Okay.
But both can be launched by Erica Liniak. Go ahead.
Ooh, yeah,
that's
definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. So Seagal and Baywatch here, they're going to skulk around the ship, try and get to the bottom of things and stop bad guys. And when does the microwave bomb go off? I don't have a picture of that, but earlier in the thing, he combined a few chemicals and what looked like steel wool or something, and he microwaved it in a cup, and he left it in the kitchen. And I think this is the scene when that blows up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was after he killed Cates and Ziggs. They try him on the radio. They don't answer. Then they all go down there to see what the fuck happened, and then that's where he had the bomb waiting for him, which was amazing timing. He knew how long to put the bomb. So like, okay, they go back up there. They figure out he's not there. It'll take him about 10 minutes, whatever. Because while everybody's in the kitchen, this bomb goes up, and he tells him, "Get down!" And he jumps over. So he's jumping over the counter here.
Right.
And the shit goes everywhere, and then the guy has like 4 or 5 pieces of microwave glass in his fucking neck.
Such a great Hollywood thing about the bomb he left in the microwave for them is but it's so Hollywood. Right before it blows up, it goes ding. You know, you get a nice little ding from the microwave. Yeah. So the idiots in the audience know, oh, that's the microwave boat up.
And right before this is when he pulls the knife, because Gary Busey's telling him he's just a cook, man. He's just a cook. He just got lucky. And he pulls the knife out of the dude's neck, and he's like, this shit ain't lucky, man. And then that's when
you've got it. And that was the perfect segue into what I was going to say in this movie I loved is that they don't do, Tommy Lee Jones in particular, doesn't do what every stupid villain does when they're facing somebody who the audience knows is a trained killer and is out of their depth of the average person. They go, seal him off, do not engage him. And he spends a lot of this movie when they're running for the bulkhead, that he's just at the door. He knows it's a trap. It's going to be a trap. Like, do not engage him. And I really appreciated that. By the way, just to be clear, Erica is currently now head to toe in gear. Still, what a knockout. Continue.
Right.
Full tactical gear.
I know.
Somehow she got hotter.
Right. I was about to say, I think I like her more now.
Well, where in the hell did he find tactical gear for this woman, by the way? It's a big ship. I don't know.
Concern yourselves. They got tactical gear everywhere on these ships.
Yeah, that's so
gay.
When I was in the Navy, we had tactical gear stash spots all over the ship. You just reach
when you're in the Navy and you're a cook, like Jericho was, you pull down the average shelving unit, and one of these women in tactical gear rolls out. That's where the tax dollars go.
Yeah, it was all in the kitchen. It was a lot of it was fake food, and you thought it was real. You move it out of the way. You thought these were breadsticks.
Hey,
make them pull your base.
Hey, fooled you, asshole. You thought this was really fucking bouillabaisse.
I totally have a type. Yeah, she's upstairs, and blonde hair, light eyes. It is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, she does have
racist.
that thing that does trigger males of the beautiful lady looking sad and in distress, and all you want to do is save her. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great casting, I guess. Very good with that. So,
and again, like you said, Sean, earlier, she did good.
Yes, she did.
She did really good.
Here's the thing about Erica Eleniak that people don't get, and that's why it worked so well in E.T., right? Is that she is she's very all-American, quote-unquote, girl. She has an easy way about her, and what that is changes from generation to generation, which is why people can't ever pin it down. God bless this country, people. God bless this country. I say it 1,000 times a day.
But she's rockets launching, boys.
She's what you're fighting for, dare I say. Mm-hmm. And she is not out there to make someone feel bad. But here's another thing. She has your back. And she says the safest place is right behind. Yes, right behind you. Mm-hmm. I thought, ooh, that's something you're not going to hear Brie Larson say.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And she does have his back, literally, later on in the
movie. Yes.
But it's so nice to see women be women. Weird, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Wild idea. Teflon Ron says, a pot of hot grits hurts. Ask James Brown. I don't know the story there, but I already love it.
I do.
I love it.
It's actually Al Green.
Al
Green. There was this woman he was dating, and she wanted to get married, and he didn't. And he basically told her it's not going to happen. He gets in the shower. She goes downstairs, and she puts on a pot of grits, which is basically boiling glue. So she takes a pot, she pulls the shower curtain back and throws the grits on him. He turns his back at the last second, and it gets all over his back. And he said that he reached back and grabbed his skin, like pulled some of his skin off.
Oh!
So after that is when he became the Reverend. Before that, he was just Al Green. After that, he found religion and became the Reverend Al Green.
Dang.
Yep. That is wow. She cooked his back meat.
Oh,
that's rough. Grits is no joke when it's hot.
Hey,
man.
Just imagine if she used bouillabaisse.
Bouillabaisse. He wouldn't be with us anymore. That's it, I mean, he's not with us now, but he's certainly would have been with us then. Oh, Lord.
We keep it PG-13 on here, so I'm not going to read this out loud. But it did make me laugh. I'm a man. This made me laugh.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to read it out loud. I got to try and be a little classy. But that's hilarious. Good one. So, I haven't had grits in ages. Never spent any time in the South except for once last year. But I had it in Colorado a few times. Delicious.
Yeah, we have it here all the time in our house. Yeah. Lauren grew up on it.
Now, do you have it like sweet or savory or both, or what are you doing?
No, cheese and salt. We never do sweet grits. It's fucking wrong.
Shrimp and grits is really good. Egg and cheese and grits is really good. I used to grow up eating it all the time. My dad was a chef in the Army, and
just a chef.
Yeah, that's what
just
he told me.
Just a chef, just like his son.
I never asked any questions.
Special forces or nothing. Just making bouillabaisse.
Hey, just had some friends from SEAL Team 6 send me some memorabilia, unrelated, boys.
They were just grateful for the meal. That's
the Jericho Green stories unraveling right here on Double Impact. Ponytail under the hat.
Every morning, that's how I woke up. Hey, come down here and get some of this bouillabaisse.
There you go.
That was my alarm clock every morning.
Oh.
Love it. Thank you, Steven Seagal, again.
Okay, so he, I think on a satellite phone or whatever, he talks to the admirals and all the guys in the situation room that are flipping out. And the one guy that is like the duck you said, feet are going, or just paddling a mile a minute and above the water, looks totally calm. His acting is superb. He is freaking out and staying calm at the same time. When you watch it, you'll see it's great acting. So he's a little unsure if they're going to trust just a cook. But so him and the gal, they're going to go around and they're going to make things right on this ship. They got to stop these guys before they sell these nuclear warhead tomahawks to who knows? Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-sung, all the Kim Jongs.
all the Kims. Kim Shi, all of them.
Yep.
Right.
It's on.
The highest bidder, man. They're always in it to make some money. One last score and I'm out of here.
Damn. Okay, you guys are grit aficionados. I am not. I've only had it a few times. I did like it though. Fresh grits with salt and black pepper, bacon, biscuits, and sunny side up eggs. Yay or nay? We going on that?
You can miss me with the snot eggs. I like over medium, but everything else in there is that. If you're gonna try it, that's how you want to do it.
Okay. When I was a kid, I liked sunny side up eggs. I don't touch that as an adult. It grosses me out now. I'm not big on eggs. I eat a lot of them because they're healthy and I do a lot of weightlifting and all that. But eggs, I think they're kind of gross. I'll eat them. They're good for you.
My background is a little, I got to be honest with you, is a little bit of trashiness. So I love me some snot runny eggs, some sausage, mixed into that eggs, throw in some gravy, and a heart attack, an insulin pump, and let's do this thing.
Everything sounded great except the sunny side up. Oh,
there you go.
Hey, look at Feral Lion here. When this film debuted, I was in gun school, and the theater was packed out with a ton of gunners mates. I felt for anyone in that theater. We loved it, but we were smirking about the weapons elements. Yeah, I'm sure none of it was realistic or whatever. Yeah,
gunners mates, they're the small arms specialists of the Navy. So pistols, machine guns, M60s, M14s, whatever they got, they're the small arms experts.
Right. Hail to you, my friend.
Right. And Teflon Ron is one of the great fans, been around for years. Yep. And the food portion of the show brought to you by Comicsgate. Yes, Tef. We always talk about food. You guys, yay for me. I'm going to congratulate myself. I know I don't do that often. I've done a ketogenic diet since my birthday on July 24th.
Nice.
I'm down like 15, 20 pounds.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I'm keeping the muscle, though, because I'm just eating tons of meat, lots of steaks, lots of fat. I've had carbohydrates at one meal when I went to that Kung Fu dinner on the 6th up in Hollywood or Chinatown. That's the only time I've eaten carbs since July 24th. So I'm doing
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's no bullshit, man. When you're a grown-up and you make your own decisions about what you eat,
right?
It's tough to make the right one sometimes. So that's awesome, man. Good
and the thing is, I got more money than I've ever had in my life. I could buy any chocolate cake, pastry. Guys, I love croissants.
Yeah, there's no one to stop you.
No one can do anything. I could buy 500 pounds of bouillabaisse. No one can stop me.
Hey, calm down there, Gabe. It's a lot
Yeah,
of
I mean-
booyah, baby.
I could go to Olive Garden and get unlimited super salad and breadstick.
You can call up your father and say, I've turned up the air conditioner and I've opened the front and back door. Nobody can stop me.
hey, that's right. I'm about to cool the neighborhood, Dad.
That's right, exactly.
Uh,
But you're lying because they beat that into you. You didn't really do it.
what am I weighing these days? I was about 300. I think I'm about 285, 290. I'm about 15 so pounds down. So, but I'm a big man. Here's some proof. Hold on. I am taller than Dolph Lundgren.
There you go.
You see?
Wow.
So that's at the Aquaman premiere. I had that photo handy for something else. So I am every inch of 6'4", like I said. So, but yeah, I got up to 300 again, and I don't like it. I'm very muscular. I'm not too fat or anything, but I could lose some. You know,
but you don't want to get all POW,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I just, I'm 44. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want any problems. Thank God I don't have any.
Mhm.
So,
Well, good for you, man. Keep it up.
thank you. Thank you very much. It does get a little hard though, man. Oh, anyway, we'll drop the food stuff. That's a good point. Anyway, these two are going to go around the ship. They're not going to eat any croissants or donuts like I want to right now. And, I love when he gets all technical, right? Yeah. Okay. So we still having the conversation. Okay. So now they've got the loader outside. This is like some big container that has the tomahawks in them.
Yes.
And they're going to start loading them on this submarine, which has surfaced. So you've got the Missouri. Is that a destroyer or what kind of ship is that, Jericho?
I believe the Missouri was a battleship.
Okay. I don't know
Those
all
are
the
just-
classifications.
They're
so.
just big tanks that are tough as shit and have a bunch of guns on them. Like one battleship could fuck a whole country up. I mean, there's those shells, and later in the movie they show the shells and stuff that they shoot, but the shells are like fucking 5 feet tall. I mean, they're giant.
Right.
You could just, man, these ships can do damage.
Right. Question for me, John. What did you say you peaked at bench pressing again? According to the chart, you do 225. You do a bunch of reps. That's how you get your max. Because doing a 1 rep max is kind of dangerous. You can tear your tendons out. My calculated max, I never tried it, is about 345 on the bench. So it's good for someone my size. You know what I mean? So
that's a lot of weight.
So, dude, I'm dedicated to it. I've been lifting since I was a kid. Since I was 14, high school football, started lifting all the time. Then got out of it in my 20s. But then my wife bought me the full Olympic set. And right behind this green screen, if I turn on the lights in here, you see that shine over there? That's a giant mirror. And I'll just show you. Hold on. 1 second. I got my full weight set right here, the full Olympic, the squat rack,
nice.
the bench, all of it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. This is out here. This is where I live. This is where I draw and color and do all this out in the garage. So, yes, I'm way into it. I love weightlifting. So, it's a lot of fun. So, where are we? Okay, so they're offloading the tomahawks. And now he's on the deck. He's on the deck of the ship.
Yes.
And he's sabotaging. I love this. He punctures the paint thinner, leaves it with like a grenade on a helicopter of some sort. I don't know the name. Jericho, do you know what kind of helicopter?
It's like a Chinook or something like that. Basically a transport. Like I think the Marines, it's like a CH-46, I believe. It's basically a personnel transporter. And he pokes the holes in the paint thinner. So once all the paint thinner leaks out and there's no more weight, it falls off. The pin comes out. Kablooey!
Right.
Man, I love again these booby trap scenes where the good guy knows some shit. And, he's got to make it work with what he has around him.
Right.
Can I ask a question to my fellow panelists and perhaps the chat? Did this kind of commitment to extravagant setups, did this stuff originate with MacGyver? Did the popularity of a guy who doesn't use guns but will always figure out a way how to solve a problem with whatever he has, basically, I'm not saying it was the first time that was ever done, but I mean, did that create in writers and in people who created these stories the need to have that kind of scene in it? Because to me, I kept thinking about that when I was watching this, how popularized that was in elementary school. He went in there and then he said, did you know you can use these items to do this? Because there was a science aspect to it, It's like, I know what to do with what I have, but I'd love to know.
It's genius. Because MacGyver was what? This is 92. MacGyver was like 85. So like 7 years before this. So I definitely think it sparked something in that, in people, and writers, and maybe started something, because that taps into all of us. We all have these appliances around. We all have paint thinner and these chemicals and shit under the sink. But to see somebody take what we all have around us and do something really cool with it, it's just like watching a kung fu movie. You thought you could do it.
Yeah.
You thought you could do it. So, you might go in there and grab some, Ajax or some shit and think that you could do this. But I think that was genius. That whole concept of MacGyver was genius.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Because that's people say that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to MacGyver something. Make something out of nothing. You know what I mean? And remember Half Baked. He's like, you ever see the MacGyver smoker? He's like, avocado, a socket wrench. Hurry up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was fucking genius, man.
Yeah, that stuff. I mean, it's like Groundhog Day. Another movie. I think we talked about Groundhog Day on this show. And Groundhog Day is a movie that the title of the movie now means a day that repeats.
Mm-hmm.
When people say it's like Groundhog Day, they don't mean Groundhog Day. They mean that movie. MacGyver is the same thing.
Guys, I got to call a timeout on this movie because Sean and Jericho, you don't even know this. This channel is making leaps and bounds on what we're going to do with these kind of movies. And Teflon Wrong brought up something. If you love these action movies that we're doing, Todd Xenophante is Van Damme's double from like 1994 up to 2000. Then they get back together like 2007 to 2000, I think before the pandemic or something. Todd looks exactly like Van Damme. And I interviewed him for an hour, chopped it up into 5 short interviews, and I posted those. They're going to come out like over the next week and a half. One came out yesterday, one tomorrow. But Todd is coming on this channel live, and we're going to break down Double Team with Dennis Rodman, and Van Damme, all of it. Todd's going to tell us all about that movie. Todd is a really nice guy. We've been talking on the phone. We've actually become friends, and it was at the infamous Kung Fu dinner that I keep referencing. I got to sit with him and Paco Prieto, who's the main bad guy from Only the Strong, a real capoeira master. I'm going to interview him for my channel. Sheldon Lettich, writer of Rambo 3, Lionheart, Double Impact, all that stuff. I'm going to interview him too. And I'm going to try, besides interviewing them, get them on live. But check this out real quick. I'll share this. This is just a teaser. Hold on. Share. Let's see. Hold on. How do I? Okay, I'll just put it over here and share it. Hopefully this will share the way I want. This is like a 30-second teaser from the interview with Todd. He's Van Damme's stunt double. I'll play this real quick. And we're going to have him on like in 2 weeks or so.
You never knew, because I remember right before we did the Tiger scene, I called my mom up. I asked the producer, if can I borrow your phone? Hey, Mom, I'm doing the scene with the Tiger. Oh, is it nice? Oh, yeah, I'm petting it. It's trained. It's really nice. It's going to be nice. Okay, Mom. Love you, bye.
Guys, Todd Xenophante, Van Damme, former stuntman, photo double, stand-in. I did an hour interview with him, and I divided it up into like 5 short videos. I'm going to be posting them over the next week and a half. He is so fun, so brilliant. He was a great interview to go deep on all the 90s stuff we love, all the jump kicks, all the crazy stunts, sudden death, Double Team. He's telling me about running from tigers with Dennis Rodman. Just a great series of interviews. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can see when those come out. Yeah, dude, Todd is a fascinating guy. He wasn't even thinking of acting. He was in college. He was in the National Guard. And someone at boot camp said, hey, you look like that kickboxer guy. So they showed him the kickboxer movie. And then like a few weeks later, someone else said, you really look like Van Damme. And then another person said it to him and said, you should do modeling. And he went and did modeling. And the guy that took his photos after they did the photos for some local advertisements, like in Pennsylvania where he lived, said, you really look like Van Damme. You should do something with that. Here's a card for the agency in Los Angeles that reps Van Damme. I know them. Somehow that guy knew the photographer.
Wow.
He sent him headshots of him doing athletic stuff. They called him 3 days later. 3 days later. And it just turns out he lived in Dunmore, which is by Scranton, the Office TV show. Mm-hmm. They were about to film Sudden Death in Pittsburgh, 5 hours from his house.
Oh my
God. He got a job being a photo double and all that. And then for years has worked with Van Damme. He's a really fun, cool dude. Really like the guy. What a great thing. What a privilege to interview him and learn about the namesake of this channel, the great Jean-Claude Van Damme. So check those out, guys. And we'll have him on live, and he will tell us all about Double Team and what the hell that movie is. Because that's a trip, that movie.
I mean, if you're going to run from a tiger, you want Dennis Rodman in your corner.
Oh, my.
That's right.
Everybody knows that.
I think it's the third video where he's telling me about the tiger. And the trainer's like, no, it's safe. Just go up to the cage and hit the cage and make it a little mad though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
Go piss off that tiger. Make sure he knows it was you.
Remember, they're in the Coliseum, so he has to run upstairs from a tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember
so,
that scene. He like jumps across, like there's this gap and he jumps across it. And then the tiger jumps across the same gap effortlessly.
Right.
Like nothing.
Right.
I can't wait to talk about that movie, man. That has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, he's a real fun guy. He's really quick-witted. He's a big jokester, too. He's always telling great jokes when we talk and private message. We've actually become friends a little bit. It's fun. Anyway, back to Casey Ryback and his sabotage exploits here on the deck of the Missouri. Great. Yeah, so Casey sets him up, little timed grenade with some paint thinner, blows up the Chinook, and I love that. I love that shot of. Is that the bow? I got to get my terminology correct here.
Yeah, the bow. That's the back of the ship.
Stern. I got one right.
Stern in the bow, front and back, port and starboard, left and right.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So then, so that's him hanging off. That's right. That's Seagal hanging off there after the explosion.
Dude, he slams into that boat too. When he jumps over with that rope, dude, he slammed hard as hell. Damn shit. Like,
right. Nowadays they would just do it with CGI.
Yeah, that's true.
My son. Go ahead. Sorry.
I got to say this because this is a big thing. Because this for the chat and for you guys because this blew my mind. So you guys know my son is working professionally doing 3D models of ships, historically accurate ships for history shows. He had a documentary that he worked on Fox Nation a couple months ago. So he's just like one of those guys who he picked this stuff up when he was a kid. He's 16. He's not even an adult yet, and he's doing this kind of work. And when he was watching this, the thing that really blew him away that we take for granted, I think a lot of times he watched this and he goes, so is what percentage of this is CG when they were showing the ship shots? And I said, no, man, that's all like legit. These are like flyover shots. And he was just, as someone who is a history buff and loves this kind of stuff, he was blown away by this stuff. He was just like, he was like, that is a legit, like he was just drinking in. And so when I tell him, that I have got a co-host who has actually got the ship stuff down, he will lose his mind. So at some point I have to have you talk some stuff with him because he would flip out.
I wonder where he got his artistic abilities from.
Well,
we don't know. The guy who delivers mail to our house, a hell of an artist.
He's really good.
Yeah.
One of those things.
Yeah, that's just one of those coinky dinks is what I like to say.
Yeah, seriously.
Very weird.
No, actually, well, let me tell you, he's artist parents, okay? So the time he was born, we were shoving a stethoscope in his hand. Things just took a turn for the worse.
Right.
We were like, for the love of God, go into something else. Be a plumber, for God's sake, make some money.
It was literally in his blood, man. He's powerless against it.
Crazy. It's crazy.
And see, here, this scene, I thought it was going to turn into the classic, now we got your girl, come here and get her, or we're going to kill her, or do what we want to do, or we're going to kill her. That's what I thought it was going to be. But old Steven threw a damn curveball.
Right. He ends up, you see at the top of this photo here, 2 dead guys.
Yes.
Those were the guys that had her.
There were 3 of them.
There were 3 of them.
Yeah, he ran up while he was running because 2 of them had her and there was one other guy. And he runs up, boom, boom, boom. I mean, 3 headshots, fast as hell. I believe he could have done that for real because he's heavy in the firearms. He always has a 45 and stuff. So I believe he could have done it. But it was like, and she was stunned that it happened so quickly. She was like, what the hell? And these dudes are already dead. And then he's still on the run and grabbed her. Let's get the fuck out of here. And then we get this part right here.
And it's that great part. We don't have a photo of it, but he runs into the bulkhead. Shant mentioned this. And it's more good characterization with the writing where he runs into the bulkhead. Tommy Lee Jones sees it from a balcony above as some mercenaries chase him. And Seagal quickly rigs a grenade on the door of the bulkhead from the inside. So if they open it, they're going to die. And Tommy Lee Jones, being the super CIA agent that he is, he knows that Seagal wouldn't just run in there. He knows he must have done something, be waiting to kill them or set up a bomb or something. And he's like, do not pursue that man. They open the door, boom, and they go flying away. And if you rewind it a few times, you can see one of the guys that flies away is clearly a dummy.
Yes, he
His
is.
body's just frozen, and it just kind of flies away. and none of the limbs move.
Yeah.
But these guys, they need to start listening to Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy
'Cause
Jones, man.
This is the second time that he
Right.
warned them about a damn bomb.
Right.
Down when he put the one in the microwave, he says, "No, don't," and then boom. And this one,
Right.
"Don't pursue him." Boom. You guys need to start listening because you're getting
Right.
Yep.
Right. So, okay, so then he's talking about, okay, well, why do they want to drown the sailors that are in the, what is that part of the ship called where they keep them?
That's the forecastle. That's
The
all
forecastle.
the way forward.
Okay.
And it's spelled like forecastle, but it's called
Okay.
the forecastle.
What's
the Navy
it
has
for?
a few terms like that.
What do they keep there?
Just supplies and stuff.
Okay, just like a big, okay. So
They want
it's
to
like a
lure
big-
him.
It's like a big room, basically, just like it is there. And like forecastle, but it's spelled forecastle, then boatswain mate, but it's spelled boatswain, but it's pronounced boatswain. I don't know why
Okay.
they do that. But yeah,
Okay.
this is the forecastle, and that's where they put all the guys. And now it's, knock it off, or we're gonna drown your boys. And this puts an extra layer of piece of shit on Gary Busey.
this is so evil. Like
Yeah.
imagine being drowned in a dark metal room. It's like a nightmare. These are terrible people.
What
If you
Yeah,
didn't know already, these are terrible people.
two beautiful things about it too that they think, and this is the kind of heroic stuff that I love. Yeah, you got it, Mike. Fan of Double Impact or Doubly Impact Under Siege. Read that for where's it? Yeah, that one right there, the one you were on before. Sorry.
Oh.
It says Ryback. He's gonna kill himself trying to rescue them.
Right.
Like they know he's such a good dude.
Right.
that he will not be allowed to let that be. And I love that he doesn't go, oh, they think I'm going to rescue them, but I'm going to outsmart them. No, he's like, of course I've got to go rescue them. What the fuck? And he loses of his own, in the
Right. No,
process.
it's they're baiting him. You're totally right, Shant.
Yeah.
None the miser might have found the B plot for this though. That's
Mhm.
where they store all the bouillabaisse.
It is.
Hey,
Maybe
hey.
he's-
Hey, none the miser. How could that be when I store all the bouillabaisse right here?
That's right. How do you? Hey, here's a little arithmetic. How do you store 500 gallons of bouillabaisse in a 4-gallon pot?
There's enough bouillabaisse. I hide it over here. I hide it over there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Oh
so
my
these guys,
God.
they already just shot the one officer in the face, taking over the ship. They're gonna sell missiles to terrorists.
They're
But
animals.
drowning these
Yeah,
people
they're
like
animals.
rats, they just cement their place in hell.
Yeah.
This is
And not to
awful,
mention-
awful.
That water is fucking freezing.
Of course.
That
Yeah.
water is so cold. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this is just when you thought Gary Busey couldn't get bad enough, or maybe he didn't need to get bad enough, but he did. He's drowning his own men. And then he
Yeah.
says, they don't like me anyway.
Did they ever?
Damn.
Did I miss it? Did they ever explain why Krill is a complete, like, obviously a career man, becomes XO on the ship, second in command, so he must have been a decent sailor, and then he flips on his men that he knows personally, on the military, on his commanders, on his country, on everything. Did they ever explain it, or is he just crazy like they implied at the beginning?
Narcissism.
Yeah, he's just he was kind of already bad when the movie started. They really didn't go into that about Busey. He was just a dick,
I have a seriously. I do think that the answer that they show when he's talking about this stuff is he's a narcissist. He has so much, but he thinks he deserves more. He's got a God complex. He thinks that this is the key. This is the Marxist. Funny enough, right? They're getting onto a communist submarine. This person believes that you could have $1 million and your neighbor could have $1,000,001, and you go, how come they have $1 more than me?
Right.
That's who this guy is.
Right.
Hater.
And the fact that the men don't like him is punishable by death.
Right.
You can't get any more narcissistic and megalomaniacal and psychotic than that.
When I was a little
Holy
kid,
shit.
I made up a term for this sort of attitude, was a chicken nugget counter.
Yeah.
You're counting how many each person has on their plate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember like being in 5th grade and coming up with that term in my own head.
Classic hater.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, classic hater. That's right.
So there's a few sailors that are going to end up helping our guys. You know what
That's
I
right.
mean? That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, they found them in a room somewhere. They didn't get caught up
Right.
with everybody else. They kind of found a little pocket of safety. And then they open this hatch. One of the guys tries to climb out and they shoot him.
Terrible.
Pieces of shit.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
So here's the freedom fighting crew.
Yes.
And we're missing our Chicago guy, though. We never got pictures of him. The guy, he's also in, I don't know
The
if it's
old
Out
guy,
for
right?
Justice or, he's at the
Gets shot in the
Mustang.
knee.
He's going to go to watch the Cubs game and get a hot dogs.
Yep.
You know, he's one of those guys. And he's in a lot of Chicago-based movies. And he's in, what is he in? Is he in Marked for Death? Is he in Out for Justice or Hard to Kill? He's in
The
Hard
biggest
to Kill.
question is he in The Fugitive? If we have
Everybody
one more
else is.
actor from The Fugitive in this movie, I think the conspiracy's real.
Right. And Anton Dennison has got me pegged. I would
Yep.
just put all the nuggets into a big pile and eat more than his share, just like with the fries. I invented communism when I was in high school. I would go on a date with my beautiful wife that you saw at the beginning of the show or before we went on the air. And she is 5'2" or whatever. I don't know how tall she is. And I am me, very big. I've always been very hungry. So the scam I thought I was pulling on her in high school was, hey, why don't we take both French fries, put them on the platter, and just share? And secretly in my head is like, I'm going to eat 90% of these, and you're going to watch. So that's communism in a nutshell. Let's make a pile, and then I'll just take most of it. And you can wear a gray jumpsuit and stand in a bread line.
That's right.
Nailed it.
Right. So you're welcome. I invented communism when I was 15.
And these guys, of course, they have everything they need to save the day.
Right.
That's right.
Everything they need right here.
Right. I don't know what that's a shot of. This is out of context. Something blew up, and I don't remember.
I think there's a scene where he makes a bomb out of a welding tank, and then they open the hatch and throw it down in there.
Right.
And then, that's what that is.
Right.
And the double MP5s crossed fully automatic Seagal. I love that.
Right, and we have that at the open of the show. We have that in our opening video. That's right.
Yep. And I gotta say this though, man. And I know maybe it's too soon, and we'll get to it. The fucking I-beam we have to get. Just like holy shit.
That was very unfortunate for that.
I know my daughter collected these photos for me, and knowing my daughter, she got us the I-beam. I hope she did.
I don't doubt it, man.
Because I tell her, watch the movie. Everything you think is significant for storytelling or just a good visual, get a picture of it.
She got
she got us a ton tonight.
That's definitely a good visual.
Yeah. Okay.
That poor young man.
So the sub is there. They're loading the rockets. Things are going bad. The admirals are still talking to everyone. What the hell are we going to do? Can Ryback save the day? And there it is. The double MP5s.
Those are MP5Ds.
Right.
Yes. Because the ones that they got the cut off barrel, they're flat like that. Those are MP5Ds. They had those in Showdown in Little Tokyo as well. The favorite of the Yakuza. But yeah, man, double MP5s. Basically, all the bad guys are along the side, and I'm just going to run down the middle of the hallway and shoot them as I run by.
Right.
This fucking guy. Was that the guy? So he goes into this room.
Yeah.
He's trying to go to another part of the ship. Fucks up 3 or 4 dudes. Then one guy, he somehow gets him on a saw table.
Yeah.
And then knees him in the nuts and pushes him up into the blade. And the blade probably goes 4 or 5 inches into this man's shoulder.
Oh.
It's just gorgeous.
It was some fucking woodshop class up in that movie. That was fucking. I remember seeing that like at the time, and you think this is what these movies do. You go, there's no. Well, he's obviously they're not going to show him take the guy, and no, they show it. He just fucking runs that. It was like Lowe's, man. It was fucking nuts.
Again, just like we talked about in Marked for Death, the brutality of Steven Seagal. He was the first action star to just get that. I mean, compound fractures, bones sticking out, puts the saw blade in this dude's shoulder. I mean, golly. He was
like a salad shooter walking through a movie. I mean, it's just like fucking debris.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So then we get a great scene over on the sub. That I think it's what happens? Oh yeah. Another helicopter's coming in with like special forces guys.
Yeah, SEAL Team 5.
Right, and someone on the sub lights them up with the shoulder mounted. Would it be the Carlson 81 millimeter, whatever? Or what would they use, Jericho?
Oh, I don't know. Rocket launchers were not a Navy thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's the one that has like that big old plexiglass like square on it with the basically the crosshairs where you can like aim and get the the elevation right or whatever. But because they couldn't shoot, they were going to use the Sea Whiz again on the 2 Chinooks coming in, but that's when the power went out. and he couldn't do it. So then he calls the sub and says, "You take him out."
Right. Okay, so more time. Okay, so here
we go.
Right. So what is he making here? Because I see him do it, but they don't really explain it. They show you what happens.
He's making a homemade bomb. This is what he puts on the fin of the submarine so it can't lower the bow plane and submerge. So here he has the pot of boiling water. The steam is going to melt the explosive shit inside of that shell. And then, again, like I said, the montage music, the guitar and shit. And he's putting it together. He puts it in a Tupperware container and wraps it with duct tape and puts a condom around one of the electrical components so it doesn't get wet. And then, just like a Navy SEAL, he puts on his frogman wetsuit, gets in that deal, or climbs down the anchor chain, gets in that water.
Right. So, yeah, they're outside. They're still loading the rockets to the terrorist submarine. He goes full frogman.
Yes.
And he's climbing on that giant chain. I've been to the USS Midway. Is a floating museum. It's here in San Diego. If you ever come to the San Diego Comic-Con, 3 blocks away from the convention center, just to the north on Harbor Boulevard, is the Midway. It's $20 to tour it. It's amazing. I think it's built in like 1949, 1950. It's like 70-something years old. It's so huge. It's so amazing. And to see the chain, I remember going in that room where the chain, it's as big as the one you see him holding there on screen. It's insane to think of stuff that big.
One link must be like hundreds of pounds. I mean,
right.
Because the anchor that they're holding is gigantic. Because look at the ship; it has to stop that damn ship. Right. But man, that anchor, those links on that chain are gigantic.
Wait a minute. Hardware Wars just realized something amazing. It's a booyah-based bomb. so hold on. We start off. He's Casey Ryback. He's just a cook, and then he uses cooking to make this bomb.
That's right.
He steams it. He puts it in Tupperware like he's going to grandma's on Sunday to have some gravy, some Sunday gravy. And
Jordan, come here. We're gonna do the triple B. You don't know what that is? It's called a booyah-based bomb. All right. We're gonna make the booyah-based bomb, and I'm gonna put it on the bow plane of the submarine. It's gonna be explosion over here.
It's a booyah-based bomb.
Over there.
It's BYOB, bring your own booyah. It's like fucking ridiculous, man.
Bring your own booyah base.
That's
bada
right.
Bing, bada bing, bada booyah.
Again, need to point this out. This is super important, guys. Full SWAT gear, not just wearing underwear and a jacket.
No.
That is a sexy lady right there. I'm just saying, man.
I'm
not saying that shot is a metaphor for anything, like what she's watching.
Right. Yeah. Look at her. Look at those hungry eyes.
I know. She's like, wow, look at the size of that ordinance.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to eat you like a bowl of booyah base.
That's right.
Booyah-based bomb. That's not blood. It's tomato sauce. Come on. Oh my gosh. So anyway, he goes full frogman. He puts the bomb on this. I guess it would be the gears and the stuff that lower. What is that piece that lowers?
The bow plane.
The bow plane. You know how the submarines look like they have little wings or little fins? The bow plane. And now it won't lower. So the sub can't leave. And this is a shot of them shooting down at him. And if you look in the bottom right corner, he fucking just laces one and kills one of the guys on top of the sub with, I don't know what he has in it, like a little Glock or something. He has some little.
He has a 9mm Beretta, which I noticed through the whole movie he has a 45, but somehow he got a hold of a 9mm Beretta before he went in the water, and that's what he's shooting these fuckers with. And then they grab that big ass, they grab the hooks and start throwing them in the water, and then they pull up, part of his suit and probably take 20% of his back meat with one of those hooks.
Not unlike Al Green and the Hot Grits.
Yeah.
Somehow I'd rather take the hook than the hot grits.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I want to second that, but I also want to say, when you were talking about the MacGyver thing, the kind of injuries you can imagine sustaining, right? Anybody who has ever caught themselves in a situation, you could be riding a bike, running somewhere, and you get caught by a piece of metal, knows what the fuck that feels like. Man. And when I saw that hook come up, I went, fuck. And my wife goes, what? And I go, that's the wetsuit. That shit didn't stop at the wetsuit. And that thing weighs a fucking ton. That shit, like, I'm surprised he didn't pull up one of his short ribs. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
So, real quick, talking about getting slashed by metal. We'll get right back to it. I have this stainless steel Smith & Wesson like tactical knife. You know, I like knives, I like guns. It's got this Kydex holster. It's a little hard to get it in and out. So I was like kind of fooling with it and trying to figure out what my technique would be to get this in and out and in and out. I'm sitting in my kitchen. I have a big window in my kitchen, and I hear the mailman or something, and I'm going in and out of the holster. And when I look up to see what all the noise is, I sink it into my hand about like that right there.
I've done that same.
Oh
yeah,
my
same
gosh.
hand,
I
same
still have the
nose.
scar.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if the scar will come through.
My scar will come through because it's right on that line. You can focus. It's the one right there. I put a knife right in the top of my hand right there, trying to open something up, slipped. And the width of that is how far the point went in. So that's not a slice. That's how far it went in. And I remember thinking, that's going to really take a while.
Be a lot of blood coming out of this one.
I remember looking at it, and it was that brief 3 seconds where it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Like, because it stung at first, pulled the knife out, and like, oh, man. And then it just goes, there's blood starts coming out. And I didn't go to the hospital for stitches. I went and sat down. I went and sat down in my shower. This is stupid, but it worked. Turned the hot water on and just sprayed it into my hand for like 5 minutes, holding the wound open with my thumb, pulling it open and just shooting hot water. Filled it with Neosporin, put like 3 Band-Aids. I am not a doctor. Do not take medical advice from me. No. It's just what I did.
I washed it out. My parents were like, we're driving to Atlanta today. We don't have time to take you to the hospital. True story.
Oh, my God.
And it was about 5 or 6 days later that I used my knowledge from Rambo to try to fix what was a growing problem with my hand. And I still look, and that is why that scar is so fucking terrible. So, yeah.
He said, I ain't got time to bleed, you know?
I said, I got to get like, it's like everything, right? We're busy. We're running places. We're going places. Yeah. Wounds like where you'd run by a board that had a nail or a screw coming out one side. Like these are all things, right, that we can remember, right? Hopping fences, things go terribly wrong. But when that meat hook came up, I was like, oh man.
Right.
Like you don't know how sharp your knife is until you cut yourself with it. And you're like, oh shit, that was very, very sharp. The scar is gone, but I had a scar on the side of my middle finger where being a dumb kid, being stupid, I grew up, on a ranch. We had a bunch of property and shit. So we had these pig pens that we built. And I thought it would be a good idea to take these wire cutters and stick them into the top of one of these posts, these 4x4 posts, like a fence post. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea.
Shit, man.
But what I didn't notice was the nail sticking out about 2 inches, 3 inches from the piece of wood that was next to it. So the one I was going to stab was down here. There was a taller piece attached to it with a nail sticking out. And it was rusty, so it blended in with the color of the piece of wood. So I gave it like a full swing. I wanted to see how far I could stick these wire cutters into this wood like a jackass. So I cranked down and stabbed it hella hard, except I noticed my hand opened and the wire cutters fell out. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look, and it was stuck on the nail. The nail was almost to the middle of my finger. So being, 100 yards from the house, I can't just stand here with a rusty nail in my finger. Mm-hmm. Eventually, I'm going to have to pull my finger off and go do something about it. So, I don't know how long I was standing there until I got up the courage to pull my finger off of that nail. But that shit will stick with you.
That was some 127-hour shit. Jericho out on the farm. I'm picturing that boy who got his arms pulled off by that fucking thing going, well, I love my favorite part of that story. If you want, that's the definition of tough. That kid got towels with his mouth so he wouldn't ruin his mother's carpet. I'm going to tell you, that kid got his ass beat a little bit when he was a kid because that's what real toughness is.
I said, I'll bleed anywhere but on my mom's towels.
So, yeah, it was like that was some serious shit.
Look at this from Admiral Wackass. He took a carom bit across his index finger one time on accident, and his fingerprint on his phone stopped working. So there you go.
Damn.
Ouch.
Whoops. Oh,
my buddy. We saw Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Costner back in '91.
Mm-hmm.
We were 6th graders, and
Great
how the one guy cuts his hand to make the oath. He swears and slices his hand.
Yeah.
My best friend, who's still my best friend to this day, wanted to also use a knife in his hand and swear.
Damn it.
And he got a real knife, but he didn't want to cut his hand open. So he thought, I'll hold a potato and slice the potato in half That'll protect me from the butcher knife.
Because potatoes are notoriously tough.
Right,
They
right.
use
What you don't know is up until the Desert Storm, they used to use potatoes before Kevlar. That it's very strong stuff.
Yeah. I didn't
No,
know.
Missouri.
they fucking
Missouri
didn't do
was
that.
made out of potatoes.
One line of steel, another line potato,
Hey.
one line steel.
Right. Do you like them twice baked, the mashed, the boiled?
Exactly. Third layer bouillabaisse.
Hey, do you like them fucking mashed?
How about some potatoes O'Brien? And here's O'Brien right here, by the way. Anyway, my friend swore his oath. Knife went right through the potato, cut his fucking hand open. It was terrible.
Some would say like a hot knife through butter, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Jeez,
the things you do when you're 12. Holy shit, that was stupid.
Yep.
I'm so scared of the day that my son is going to come running in the room holding one of his limbs, trying to keep the blood in, because I know it's going to fucking happen.
Dude. Yeah.
I mean, we're men. We could go on all night about stories of injuring yourself doing retarded shit. When my son was 5 years old, when my son was 5, this is the last injury story from me for now. They were up at a mountain-like tourist town called Estes Park. It's like an hour from Denver in the mountains there, Rocky Mountains. And I had stayed home, but my wife and then her mom was visiting from California. We lived in Colorado, and my kids were there, like 5 and 6 years old. And they called me and said, can Peter get a pocket knife, like those little 2-inch ones from the souvenir store? And I said, yeah. And I just waited. I waited 20 minutes. The phone rang, and they wanted to talk to me about something. I said, did Peter cut his hand? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, I knew he would. He's like, he doesn't need stitches. They're like, no. I'm like, okay, it's fine then. But I knew he would cut his hand. But I figured that has to happen. That's just part of growing up.
That's the greatest I've ever heard, for starters. And then the other thing is, my son was building something with cardboard. He used a ship because he was building from the time he's little. Took a knife straight through and cut his finger, right? So being a dad, I see there's a trail of blood going to the bathroom, and my wife is there. And she goes, think you need to take him to the hospital? What should we do? So because of me, took his hand and said, hey, don't look, spread it apart. And my wife just like wobbled. She was like, and I was like, what? I gotta see it. I'm like, all right, get in the car, kid. We're moving. That almost got to the nail. We gotta do some shit here.
Guys, man. Here's my best stupid injury story.
All right.
My best friend and I, we were 8 years old, and I had a really long driveway, and it ended, and there was the street. So I only had one bike. So I had my bike, and he took the big wheel, the big skinny wheel in the front, 2 fat ones on the side. And our driveway is about 1/10 of a mile long. It's pretty long. And the last thing my mother said to us was, don't ride your bike down the driveway. So all we heard was, ride your bike down the driveway. So I get on my mongoose. I'm going. He gets ahead of me. He takes off. And this thing is going so fast, the little pedals on the big wheel going like this, he can't even put his feet on them. They're going so fast. Shit. So here comes a car down the street. If he shoots out in the street, he's going to get ran over by this car for sure. So the end of our driveway kind of wrapped around. So he thinks I'll stick my foot out to stop myself, except an 8-year-old's ankle is not that small or not that strong. So when he hits it, his ankle bone goes like this. So by the time I get to him 5 seconds later, it looks like he has a tennis ball inside of his sock. That shit blew up immediately. So I get down there, skid mark. I'm like, oh shit. If my mom finds out what happened, she's gonna beat my ass. Because the last thing she told me was don't ride your bike down there. So I swear to God, I thought in my mind of Lethal Weapon 2. When Riggs dislocates his shoulder and he slams that shit up against something stationary and puts it back in place, right? So I was like, hey, check this out. I'm going to try to pop it back into place so we don't get in trouble. And he looks at me and goes, okay. So I put one hand above the bulge and one behind it. I'm going to crank down on it, pull with one hand, push with the other. So I count to 3 and I do it and he screams, ah! And I was like, all right, let me try it one more time. And he goes, okay. Put one hand above, one below. I tried it again, man. He screamed like hell. And that was the slowest, longest walk to the top of the driveway to tell my mom that we did exactly what you told us not to. David broke his
Shit, man.
Oh, and my mom took him to the hospital. My dad comes home a little while later and says, "Where's your mom?" Oh, she took David to the hospital. And I told him what happened. He just looked at me and shook his head and went in the room. I was like, "Oh shit!" So yeah, when my mom got done.
Your eulogy.
Your dad said, "I'm gonna go back to work for the rest of the week."
That's right. Tell your mom I'm at work.
So yeah, my mom, after spending 6 hours in the emergency room, finally getting seen and all that kind of shit, and his parents came and showed up. Yeah, I got some customer service when she got home.
Nice.
That's for sure.
I got one more bonus one. This is from something I made. This is my cousin, Nina. She passed away like 2 years ago, poor thing. Beautiful young lady, wonderful singer, musician, but she's adopted. She's a Russian Jew, I think, green eyes, blonde hair. We're Mexicans, Arabs. She never knew she was adopted, but I found out I was going to have a little girl cousin when I was 7 or 8. So we went to my Aunt Martha's house. My Aunt Martha adopted Nina in 1985 or something like that. And I loved her. She's my little cousin. And I'm like, "Can I push her stroller?" See, she's like, "Okay, but you got to be careful." And the adoption wasn't final yet. They were going to court like the next week.
No, Jesus.
And
Babe.
me and my brother went outside in the stroller, and my aunt lives on a giant hill. And we're like, we're with the baby and pushing the baby, and I do something wrong, and the ass over tea kettle, I crash the stroller. Bong! Nina hits her head on the ground. As a blue-green egg just bonk. We load her back in. She's screaming. She's crying. We take her inside the house, and my aunt, poor Martha, she's, "What have you done to Nina? They're not going to let me adopt her." Just like flipping out.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah.
You little shit.
So, yeah. Rest in peace, Nina. When I do the Players Club show on Tuesday nights, we analyze comic book art. The opening music was written and performed by Nina. She was an extraordinary musician.
Wow.
Wonderful girl. So poor Nina.
Getting back to the movie in some ways, because what we're about to see here, but what is it about? We went through like 40 minutes of talking about horrible things happening to guys. You told one story about a little girl bumping her head bad, and I just
but it was
like,
still my fault.
Stop! Drop an I-beam through a man right now to get that out of my fucking head.
Right.
Poor baby.
Oh, poor baby.
But this scene here one's beautiful. This is another classic action movie trope,
right?
Where the star, he's staring down the barrel, literally.
Right.
You hear some gunshots.
Right. So Ryback, remember, he just sabotaged the submarine in the Frogman. He's climbing up the edge of the Missouri to get back on deck. He doesn't see O'Brien. He pops his head over the edge. O'Brien gives him some quip about something like, "Hey, how do you like your eggs?" Or I don't know what he tells him. He tells him something. He's going to shoot he's going to kill Seagal. The movie's over. And like Jericho said, bang, bang, you hear it. And then behind him, oh, no, what is that? By the way, as a comic book artist, great lighting. You got the cool light in the background, and you got the warm light in the foreground to separate the planes. Anyway, look who it is.
CJ.
God bless. Okay.
Look at their face.
That is officially the hottest photo of her this entire show. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. I'll see that and raise you the cake.
To your love.
Hold on.
Shoot me in the back now. Because Seagal, he was defeated. He was all fucked up because of the chunk they took out of his back, which she repairs for him after. But that was it. He was weak. You know, he climbed up the side of that ship. And you might not realize it, but it's like 50, 60 feet from the main deck to the water line. That's a long way to climb back up. So he's tired. He's injured. This dude has him dead to rights. It's about to be over. Little Jordan comes.
Right. And then after Shanth sees this, here's Shanth 2 seconds after he sees that.
No, all of those. I want everything firing.
Everything. I want one of everything fired right now.
Shanth is just
I gotta say, as an artist,
hey, watch your step there.
Oh,
don't step in the bouillabaisse.
Hey, I like my potatoes O'Brien. I love that. I came back to this because as an artist, a colorist, the illustrator, I love the lighting in this shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love the fiery background that goes right into his bow-legged knees. What's up with his knees?
I noticed that too, man. He has
like one of those T-Rex legs. and they got his face and hands all red, and then he's black silhouette with a red face, and then the blue light behind. It's fantastic. I love that design there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Jordan saved the day.
I would say this. I don't know, Jericho, for you, but I know for Shanth, when we watch movies as illustrators, I'm looking at this stuff all the time. The lighting, the composition, why they put this here, the rule of thirds and the golden mean, and all those illustrating artistic rules. And I love when I see good stuff executed.
Yeah.
And here he is, Happy Seagal.
Hey, thanks, Jordan. Thanks.
Hey, you just blasted that Mick right in the back.
Hey, you shot that fucking Mick right in his back. Now get over here and get some of this fucking booyah, baby. You shot that fucking muck shuffling Mick right in his back. And the only way I can repay you is to give you a couple drops of this booyah, baby.
And told him, beam this up.
Oh, goodness. Who knew how funny this movie was?
Not me.
Right, so they're pissed off. Their submarine's all jacked up. Their plans are coming crashing down around them. They're not sure what they're going to do now.
Yep.
And, she's patching him up, too. So everyone kind of retreats to the corner. They have to regroup. Seagal's throwing a monkey wrench into what they're doing with the help of Jordan here. So it's going good for our heroes. They're making progress. And what happens here? Do they lose control of some of the missiles, or did that already happened? I don't remember.
But this is where they lose power, because earlier he had there was a surge.
Right.
Kind of to set up that something like this is going to happen later. The power goes out. He says, "Man, there's nothing I can do about it." And then that's when he sticks that fucking gun in his eyeball. He's all, you know what? Give me a minute. I think I could come up with something.
You know what?
I like your attitude.
I think I was wrong. I think I can fix it.
He goes, I like your attitude. Get that gun out of my retina, please.
Yeah, it's an attitude adjustment. So then now you got the Italian welder, Giuseppe.
Hey!
Giuseppe.
Luigi.
Look, it's one of the Mario brothers.
What the hell, man?
Even goes like this. Hey,
right. Is it Mario or Luigi? I'm not sure. It could be Wario.
It was Luigi. I think he called him Luigi, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
Or like Pepe or some Giuseppe or some shit. And he's like, hey, he's all tell him, weld it here, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Giuseppe. And he's like, hey, and all that shit. Right. And they fucking threw marinara sauce at each other.
So we get to another really fun scene where they're loading. What is this ordinance called that they're loading here, the good guys? Because they're going to shoot
they call
the sub.
What do they call it? Starburst rounds. I guess those are supposed to be harmless. But then they find those fucking 5-foot shells. And all those big round white things are all gunpowder to propel that giant thing at whatever they're shooting.
Okay. I kind of didn't understand what they were doing with those big pillow marshmallow things. But those are just gunpowder?
Gunpowder to propel that through the air. And when that thing goes off, it's very realistic when it goes off and he gets blasted. He slides across the ground. The percussion from those things can kill you. I mean, if you're too close to that, your head will explode.
Oh, those things are
really crazy. Yeah, the percussion, like
the air pressure, right?
Even with a 50 caliber, just the kinetic energy from a 50 cal, if it comes within 3 feet of you, it could take a limb off. Just all that kinetic energy it's bringing. So those explosions, man, hell yeah. So those, those big marshmallow looking things, I mean, those are big. And 3 of them, I think they were ramming 3 of them behind each round. So, damn, that's a huge explosion. Because those shells, I don't know how much they got away, a ton or something.
Question for you right there, Jericho. Question from John for you, I guess. Are the Starbursts the Steel Rain ones? Do you know about
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Those look like just fucking projectiles.
Right.
And at that speed, it's going to.
So right here, they shoot one and they miss. Then they recalibrate. And then Giuseppe and Krill, Busey, they're trying to fix it. Boop, but she cannot be fixed. She's not a C word no more. When you're here to your family.
Exactly.
Hey, go up there and get us some of the breadsticks and the salad. I try to get this fixed.
Yeah, he thinks they fix it. He goes inside the sub. They're ready to get going, and then Seagal hits him with the ordnance. So it's
direct hit, man. Direct hit.
Right.
And see this right here. Look at this. What the fuck is he doing? He's rubbing her ears. I rewound this and showed it to my wife. She hugged him and he plays with her ears. Were they dating or something? That's such
I don't
a
know.
weird thing to do.
I looked up Under Siege and her, and it said that I think they dated. I think
Oh,
it said that or something, that they had some relationship. I could be wrong.
he said.
It looks like it. 'Cause
Erica,
that
if you're
is-
watching this, do let
Well,
me know.
I looked it up actually. He
That's
said,
great.
when filming Raps, I'd like to take you to the Olive Garden.
That's right. That's right.
All you can eat breadsticks are a favorite of mine.
You like
So,
bouillabaisse?
I've been eating all-you-can-eat breadsticks from this movie till now.
I've been eating all you can eat breadsticks since above the law. Damn,
They
dude.
locked me in there, and I just started eating the breadsticks.
If you stacked up all the breadsticks I've eaten, you could send them to the moon and back. I like to think of it as one long breadstick.
As
God
soon as we
bless
get out
the
of here,
chat.
as soon as we get out of here, I'm gonna get some breadsticks. Jeez,
All right,
man.
so they've gotten rid of Gary Busey. He's gone to
Weird.
Davy Jones' locker, friends.
He's out of here, man. Send him to
Yeah.
the Angels.
He is
Gone, right?
Gonzo. And the team has a little bit of celebration. Now Stranix, Tommy Lee Jones, he's panicking. What the hell are we gonna do? We've got to stop this guy that's just a cook. We got to stop
Yeah.
him.
Because
Go
the
ahead,
plan
Pete.
is screwed then. Like, once that happens, that's
Right.
the coolest part about this. It's over. He's got nothing.
Yeah.
He's got,
He's
like,
desperate.
all of the money. Like, so his attitude is, fuck everybody. And that's kind of the thing. Like, there's nothing to hold over his head at this
Mhm.
point, and that's
Right.
wild.
And the qualification scene where they go, who is this Ryback? He's all good. He's all, I want the paperwork on this cook. And he gets it. He's all, I couldn't find the papers in the regular ship's personnel files. It was in the captain's, special fucking safe or something. He goes, Ryback is a Navy SEAL. He's like, oh, I knew it. The purple star with clusters and all this shit, just starts reading his resume. And you're like, oh, classic. I love it. Tell me what a badass he is.
Right. And
then,
Mike is quoting a great, we don't have a shot of it, but Stranix, in his infinite evil wisdom, decides, you know what? I'm going to get rid of Honolulu. That's enough of that. He's just
That's right.
That's it.
hey, I got a special delivery of some tomahawks for you. I hear they go good with shaved ice in the.
Hey, it's Honolulu here. I got something for you, Honolulu.
Tomahawk on line 1.
But yeah, there's like 4 little dip switches he has to hit. It's like, oh mama, oh mama, wee, all the way home when he hits that last one. So he's truly
That was
crazy.
great.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself to click these little switches to launch nuclear warheads at the city of Honolulu, which I don't know, 1 million people more. I don't know, a lot of people. So and a huge strategic base for America militarily. So yeah, just more evil craziness. And I think he does this, I guess, out of desperation, right? Out of anger and desperation here. So he launches those. Here we go. It's launched is away. And now back to the situation room. They have now all pooped their pants. They're all wearing Depends and they have filled them to the brim. Because they're like, we've got, what do they say? We've got 23 minutes or whatever. You know what I mean?
And they're sending an airstrike to the Missouri because remember they shot down the helicopter with the Navy SEALs in it.
Right.
They said if that don't work, we got to blow this fucking thing up. So there's a squadron of fighter jets headed toward the Missouri to blow it out of the water. And here comes the classic.
Right. And and
Right.
it's a horrible place they've been put in by Stranix because they're gonna have to kill hundreds of their own sailors, if not thousands. I don't know how many people go on a ship like that, but they're gonna have to kill them, and it's a terrible choice, but they have to do it. I love this right here. Where did I see it? William 03. There ain't no bullion in Honolulu. Let's waste this place.
Hey, what? Hey, what you fucking say to me? They don't got no gabagool in Honolulu. Fucking get rid of it.
I want that place
Caroline has some info
leveled.
for us. Each white silk bag weighs 110 pounds. A full charge was 6 bags. Fun fact, at full elevation, the Loas could launch a 16-inch projectile. How do you say it again?
Iowas.
Oh, Iowa. That's an I. I was making it an L. Could launch a 16-inch projectile 7 miles into the atmosphere. So when it launched, let me go back just a few. and Tommy Lee Jones gets blown back. You see his hair flying there. That ain't no joke. Wow,
yeah, that's real shit. And those things, I mean, they didn't have to see you to hit you. They like hit you over hill with those shells, but those things are devastating, man. The speeds they reach and the force, man, it's fucking over. As you saw for poor Gary Busey.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So Seagal's skulking around again. He knows he has to stop this guy because these missiles are on the way to Honolulu, and we love shaved ice. We cannot let it be destroyed. And my uncle and Aunt Martha, the one that adopted Nina, they lived in Hawaii when I was a little boy, so we lived there temporarily, and just for a little bit, like visiting for a couple months one time. And I became a lover of shaved ice. If you've never had a real shaved ice, it's like if you've been skiing or you've been somewhere where it snowed powder. It doesn't smell the crunchy stuff, but it's like the lightest powder covered in cherry. That was my favorite flavor. Oh, I haven't had shaved ice, I think, since middle school or something.
Don't do it till you go back to Hawaii. Don't ruin that memory. But yeah, that's the only reason. That's the only reason to save Honolulu is for the shaved ice.
The shaved ice. That was the point of this movie. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
It was a subplot. You really have to be in the know to know
if you
that.
paid attention to the subtext, you would understand. Tommy Lee Jones.
Wait a second, but that's America's entire shaved ice quality area.
Actually,
what kind of maniac?
Actually, you might not know this, but this movie was funded by shaved ice money. So this was funded by Big Shave Ice. So.
Yeah, Big Shave Ice. They got their fingers and everything. You know.
That's right.
You know
when are we finally going to take down Big Shaved Ice?
You know they have over 300 lobbyists in DC. You know that.
All you got to do is put that hashtag out there, and I can get you 50 college kids laying on the ground in gas masks. Just send me the word.
Fucking Big Shaved Ice. Not a fan.
You know that shaved ice affects women, POC, and gays disproportionately.
That's exactly right.
The straight white male.
You ever seen a person of color and shaved ice? They can't control themselves.
Right.
But if you're a cis white male, you're not even affected by it.
Right. It's just the truth, man.
Yeah.
I think John sums it up here.
Ice.
The Shaved Ice Industrial Complex, also known as SICK, SIIC. You think that's a coincidence? Wake up, people.
Oh, yeah? You think you're so smart, man? You don't know about the Shaved Ice Industrial Complex, man.
Right. We're going to go full Alex Jones on here.
That's making the frogs gay.
You know what they're putting in the shaved ice?
Yeah. Mike Fan of Doubly Impacted Under Siege. You got to love that.
I think you were lowballing it, Sean.
Not the visor says if Big Shaved Ice merges with Slushy, it's over for us. You know what? No, I don't believe that. I think it's scary, but I think Booyah can save the day.
Hey, yo. Wait a minute there. Oh, yo.
Cis white ice. Oh, shit. Oh, my goodness.
What have we
All right, so anyway.
Here?
This is one of the best. This is a good movie. I love this movie. Again, as an artist, I love the lighting here. You have yellow in the background, and you have the purple in the middle ground, and then you have regular, cool but not too cool indoor lighting, separating the three planes, creating amazing depth. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yep.
So this is the kind of thing illustrators think about. Very good. Very purposefully done. So anyway.
Seagal's not even scared. He's not even worried through any of this. He actually sits down and puts his feet up.
Right.
Yep.
He's not even worried about Stranix in the least. He knows he's going to fuck him up.
Right. So, yeah, they put the guns down and they decide to have a very, very cool knife fight. And I don't know how many pictures we have of it, you know. But
Tommy was very overmatched in this knife fight.
He was. And he opens him up right there. That's on his chest there. He gets sliced. And I love the way Seagal holds the knife with the finger, the index finger on the end of the hand.
So you can drive that shit in there.
It looks so cool the way he's holding that. Yeah.
Dude, he cut him on his wrist.
Oh.
He's looking like stabbed. He poked him a couple times. Dude, Tommy Lee was not ready for this knife fight, man.
Yeah.
He was not.
That is not how I was holding mine when I sunk it into my hand. So, yeah, I wasn't good.
You got to put the finger on the end, Gabe. Put the finger on the end. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, there was a finger on the end of my knife. It just wasn't attached.
Yeah, in the wrong direction.
The wrong end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bro,
it is
Tommy
brutal. Paul, the knife fight scene is great. Close quarter brutal. Yes, it does have one hilarious moment, and I already checked this afternoon. My daughter got it for me. It is such a Seagal thing, but I love it. I don't make fun of him ironically. I do love the wacky shit he does because it is actually entertaining. People say it's dumb. I disagree. It's very entertaining. This is what he does that is so entertaining.
Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. Can we just get 1 second for this picture? You don't need no. This one right here.
Okay.
You don't need any knife skills to fuck somebody up if they stick your knife in their mouth. All he'd have to do is pull his knife, just slide it this way, and you would cut his face open like Joker from
and then he'd
Knight.
be like, "Hey, you want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah,
My
I'll
father."
I'll fucking tell you over a hot bowl of bouillabaisse.
that's right.
Yeah,
Oh, what the fuck?
they're having a cool knife fight, slashing, moving, cool hand movements, all kinds of. And for some unknown reason, I feel like Steven Seagal came up with this. I love him, but I think he loves himself way more than I love him. He's like, it'd be cool if I tore the weapon out of his hands with my teeth. I feel like teeth are original knives that God gave us, and I'd like to show man's dominance over artificial knives with my real canine and my incisors. I feel like that's what was said. I'm almost certain that's the quote. He bites the fucking knife out of Tommy Lee's hands. It is ridiculous, but it's also amazing. You're not going to get that anywhere else.
How do you bite down hard enough on a stainless steel knife to keep it from going in your mouth? Because that's what he was doing. Then, like a dog, he pulls it out of his fucking hand.
Oh,
That's my last appearance on Double Impact when Jericho goes, "How do you hold a knife in your teeth?" And I go, "Come on, I'll show you, Jericho." And it just goes to like dead screen.
Dude, he bit that shit and pulled it out of a grown man's grip, and then went ahead and closed the deal. He sealed the deal after this. Second movie that he's done this to someone's ocular stems.
Right.
Yeah, that's rough.
Remember, Marked for Death.
Yeah, Marked for
Both
Death
of them.
changes that life, man.
He put both of them, but Tommy Lee just gets one.
If I'm writing this scene, if they want me to punch it up with 90s style lines, I write for Tommy Lee Jones. He says, "You're gonna want to bite down on this," but then I would have Seagal say, "Hey, I bet you didn't see that coming."
If I make a Seagal movie, I want him to like have a tiger. We're gonna combine these movies now. Charge him, and then I want him to catch the tiger in his mouth. That'd just be the best. Make it happen. Come on,
shit! This is a brutal scene right here, man.
Oh, fuck yeah.
This is brutal. I wonder, is it that easy? I don't know if there's anybody in the chat who's ever put their thumb completely in somebody's eye socket.
Not
is it that easy?
I mean, your eyeball's pretty soft.
Dude, he just put that shit right in his head.
I don't think it would take much.
Man.
Yeah, well, hold on. I don't know if this is true, but I choose to believe this. The best Steven Seagal story I ever heard was him coming up to a dude crying, and the dude asked him what was going on. He said, "I just read the best script I ever read," and it was his own script.
I believe that. If this took place in 1992 or beyond, I believe that.
Right. Yeah. I guarantee you, this was his idea. This wasn't in the script. This was him.
There's so much wrong there. Even him as a martial arts practitioner, that's a horrible idea. All the dude has to do is slide the knife, and he's going to cut your face open.
Right. So we got the bite. So we got the amazing hand gestures. We got the bite. We got the don't look now. But then the coup de grace. The coup de grace is Tommy Lee Jones saying he's got a splitting fucking headache.
The knife right in the top of his head.
Could you imagine stabbing through bone with
right
a fucking
top?
I mean, you have to be strong.
Clearly a dummy as well. You can see it very clearly in the movie. But I wonder, that must be actually. You guys ever watch that show I Survived?
Yes,
I heard of it. Yeah.
If you have any faith in humanity and you want to get rid of it, watch I Survived. People are monsters. So there's one story where this lady, she's in her house, she lives with her husband and her teenage son. And apparently there was a guy who's been living in her attic for 3 days listening to them. So he knows that her husband and son are leaving on this road trip on a certain day. So when they leave, he hops down from the attic into her bathroom. She goes in the bathroom, closes the door. He's behind the door. He attacks her. He rapes her, and he tries to kill her. And he takes a knife like the one he had in his teeth, and he tries stabbing her in the top of her head, and it wouldn't puncture her skull. So then the guy goes and gets a hammer and tries hammering the knife through the top of her head. She's telling the story.
Did this guy not know she had a throat, or?
Good God. I know, man.
I think she's one of them broads without a throat.
hey, all this soft tissue's overrated. I'm going for the
stab her to death by going for the foot. Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Dude, he's trying to hammer this knife.
Tell me she killed this guy, please.
No, the police ended up catching him. But so my point is, it's really hard to put a knife through somebody's head unless you're Mr. Seagal.
That's right.
Ponytail power.
There's a fucking cakewalk over here.
Is there blood coming out of his ear in this photo?
I think so.
There was blood.
Already?
There was blood coming out of his ear from the ordnance. I thought that was.
When he was outside. Yeah. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, we don't have a photo of him after the ordinance until this, so we don't know.
I mean, stabbing someone in the head, I don't think the blood's gonna come out.
I changed the line. I'm punching up the script some more. I think I'd like you to change your mind.
Dude. He put it right through the top, man.
And then he pickpockets him with the computer disk with the codes for the missile. Don't forget, we've got 2 Tomahawks headed to Honolulu to destroy all that delicious shaved ice. We cannot allow this to happen.
Which big shaved ice cannot allow.
Right.
It would have been, by the way, because I'm jumping ahead a few seconds here. But if he had gotten to the point where he has to enter the fucking code in, and he's just all thumbs, he's just taking out 50 guys, but he's kind of like, shit, one thing I just read his file, he's got dyslexia. It's like, oh shit.
He's like, I'm trying to fucking concentrate over here. But what do you guys remember what he told him after he takes the disc out of his back pocket? He tells him, keep the faith, Stranix.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right, man.
What? Keep the faith? Yeah, man, that's what we got. And then he's like fucking, a fish out of water when it comes to putting in those codes.
Yeah, exactly. My email disappeared.
What if when he's trying to enter the codes to take over the missiles, he enters the password wrong like 3 times and gets locked out or whatever? Like he did.
Oh, fuck.
You have entered your password wrong.
We've got to get some kind of prize if somebody in the chat can cut into the sequence where they keep going to close-ups of the missile and just cut to a shaved ice stand somewhere and then come back.
The family's not even knowing what's coming toward him.
Exactly.
Just get a little
Pump up
shaved
the
ice.
drama a little bit.
He's like, hey, how come the password's not bouillabaisse?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Somebody changed it to breadstick.
Exactly.
A Parmesan. Oh, shit. And not too much blood coming out of that giant gash over his eye.
Right.
Yeah.
His face has a lot of blood vessels in it, but I guess the blood's too afraid to come out.
Yeah.
So anyway, the fighters are chasing the other rockets, but they're not going to be able to get them, right?
Nope.
And then he's going to disable them through this satellite device here. He's on the phone with the Situation Room. They give him the code numbers. He's going to punch in the code, and that's Honolulu there on the Atari 2600, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I think the fighter jet did get one of them.
Vision.
Yeah. I think the fighter jet did get one missile.
Oh, you're right.
But they couldn't. They just couldn't get the last one.
Right.
So this fucking guy over here is, I got to take care of it over here.
Hey, not bad for a cook.
Hey, you promised me some shaved ice.
Oh,
you fucking lie to me.
He gave him so much shit too on the way back. He was like going, you know what they call doing half the job of saving millions of people there? I got my missile, you dick. It's like never ending, man.
Dude, they're like on a water slide coming out of this room full of water.
Yeah,
they're like
that's
all happy and shit
weird
sliding
one.
out.
Yeah.
See the guy's hands up and shit, like he's going down a water
Yeah,
slide.
it looked like they were actually
raging
having
waters.
fun.
Yeah.
He's like,
but
hey,
he
why'd you
didn't know who opened the door? So like,
hey, Case, why'd you open the door? We were having fun in here.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Hold
Man,
on, I just got something else for you guys you're gonna love. Now I'm gonna try this from my phone because if I open it on here, it won't work. Let me. I'm gonna try this So they save the day. They free the sailors. They have this big happy moment on the deck. Everyone's there.
Yep.
And Cue Ball, one of the guys from the kitchen, is there. And he tells him those are some great moves. And then Seagal does this. Hold on. I'm going to have to make myself big. And then my phone is next to the mic. Hopefully, I'll turn the volume all the way up on my phone. I want you guys to see this because it actually made me laugh pretty good. Hold on.
This is hard to watch, man.
Oh, this is fantastic. What the hell are you talking about? Listen up.
Show me a move.
Here's one fucking move. Hey, you want to put your tongue in my fucking mouth? Hey.
Dude, he's like, come on, Case, show me a move. He's all, here's one move.
Here's one move, yeah. Because remember earlier, they're telling Cue Ball, show me some moves, Cue Ball. And they turned up the music and shit, and he was dancing in the kitchen. So now this joke came back around.
Right.
Here's
And
one
then
move,
the
okay,
man who would not wear the dress in the beginning, remember they told him, you got to put on the uniform or whatever. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to wear this fucking polo by Ralph Lauren button up.
Okay.
And the movie ends this way,
Yep.
There are three things right off the bat. Number one, that salute is terrible. Your arm is supposed to be straight, parallel to the deck. His arm is like in front of him. It should be out here, parallel to the deck, straight, like a board, stiff as a board, sharp. That's terrible. Make that four things. Number two, you're not wearing that bracelet in uniform. That's a no-go. No woven bullshit bracelet.
No necklaces.
It's a friendship bracelet.
No beads. All right, you can't do that. Number three, that dude back there with his jacket open and shit. You ain't doing that. You ain't gonna have your jacket unbuttoned. That is
what the
unsat.
fuck is that with his pot belly?
Who the fuck is that? That's unsat. You ain't doing that. And number four, she is not gonna be in ranks. She is not gonna be wearing a uniform. And if she was, she would have on a fucking hat. Everybody else is facing forward when they salute. You don't look to the side when you're supposed to be saluting. I don't know if they didn't have the military advisor had left on this day of shooting, but this is fucking horrible. Yeah. There's no reason for her to be in a uniform, in ranks. That's not going to happen.
Let's say this, and you guys can barely see it. It's cut off by the photo. But all the way on the left, that's Jordan's face, her cheek sticking out. And she's wearing a sailor's uniform thing, but with no hat. And like, she's not in the military.
You're not in the Navy.
Like, what
you can't cosplay on a Navy ship. You are not in the Navy. Yeah. Get your ass over there with the civilians. I'm like, who the fuck?
Now, let's do a little scenario here, Jericho. This is not a movie. What's in front of you right here? You are on your ship, whatever you were on, and you see this really happen. What would your commanding officer, the next guy, if he saw you're Seagal, you're saluting like that, your buddy's got his gut hanging out, he's full of bouillabaisse. How many push-ups are you guys gonna end up doing, or how many latrines are you cleaning? What's gonna happen if you guys are sloppy shitheads like this?
Bruh, first of all, he's a chief, so it would have to be someone higher ranking than him that would check him. They probably, but they would definitely tell him ditch the fucking bracelet. They probably wouldn't say anything about his salute because usually he's young for a chief. Chiefs are usually a little older, a little more saltier. But somebody's going to catch this before the captain. The captain better not catch you all unsat like this. Somebody, one of your fellow sailors should have saw you and said, hey, you need to button your... I don't even know how somebody in the Navy that long, because this dude is obviously a chief or an officer, their brain wouldn't even let them do that. They would need a mental evaluation if they came outside with their uniform on like that. But she would never just hang out in the ranks. This is a formation. This is an official military action. You are not just going to have, I know, hey, you helped us. You shot the Irish dude. You shot that fucking Mick right in his back. We appreciate that. But that does not mean you could come over here and fucking play Navy.
I thought that was so weird when I saw her standing there, like crying almost. Like, you're not in the Navy, lady. What are you doing here?
Everybody would be jaw on the floor, mouth agape. What the fuck is she doing?
Now, what about the guy right under his elbow, styling in the wheelchair with the broken foot?
He's all fucked up, man. He's fine. Hey, he's doing the best he can. He's relegated to a wheelchair. It's not his fault.
I'm impressed.
That wouldn't happen at all.
I'm just impressed by this guy who couldn't be bothered to get a fucking jacket that fits and button it. Like, what are we doing?
This is some sloppy shit. But I want to add that people were like, she can't just fall in line. And they're like, but she's Miss July. I mean, can't we just look, guys?
That is true.
Let me just say this. She's not some random lady. Okay. She's Miss July.
Man, she could be Miss June and July. There's no fucking way they would let that shit slide. And that guy back there is probably like, hey, you know how much fucking bouillabaisse I just ate here? Like, all right. You did have 50 gallons of bouillabaisse.
Listen.
Someone had to eat it. We didn't want it to go to waste.
Let me tell you something, okay, though. In my script, which may or may not be accurate, okay, the entire crew is made up of Erica Liniak. Now, hear me out, all right? So, everybody. It's a ship of clones.
It's a clone. Oh, that.
I mean,
gives a whole new meaning to semen.
Do you know, like, the way you talk to your kids, the way you chastise your kids in, like, church or something, somewhere that's really quiet and you're not supposed to be loud, they would come up to that dude and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Get that shit. Oh, my, dude, that's a cardinal sin.
You get the, we're all fathers here, and we've all mastered the art of the gritted teeth. When you're mad enough at your children, you no longer open your teeth when you talk to them. Your teeth just stay shut like this. So,
that's exactly how they would be talking to that dude. What the fuck is wrong with you?
But, I would let things slide if it were up to me.
Yeah.
Now, she could be in ranks.
No, if you see...
If she had that on, she could go ahead and stand in ranks. That's fine.
Listen, no, I'm gonna agree with Jericho on this. If you see a lineup like that with that sloppy, there's gonna be some discharged semen.
But not the good way either. Not the good way.
Right.
Oh my goodness,
that was
insanely fun to bring, guys. That was 3 hours of pure nonsense about bouillabaisse.
Didn't feel like
man. Hold on.
Here's your
how you doing?
There we go.
So guys, that was made during the show.
There you have it, folks. Man. We're working. So
the hair, the face, that's awesome, man.
We're getting there. Got a couple of things I tried to. Yeah, I mean, God, this is for the Navy. Okay, listen.
That is just outrageous.
Seriously,
man. I salute that, man.
That's what we got to do.
That is beautiful.
Outrageous.
Awesome.
And if you love that, make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell for notification. And I need you guys to get Nosfero the Crypt Walker. Shantan Jetty, you saw he just painted Jordan beautifully during this show. And he's doing his own comic. It's pulp, it's Cthulhu, it's Conan the Barbarian, it's all of that stuff.
And a little bit of this too.
A little bit of
this.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of see-through lace.
Hey.
Now, Nosfero the Crypt Walker is very similar to Casey Ryback. How much bouillabaisse can this guy make?
You wouldn't believe it. He could make a swimming pool of bouillabaisse in a 4-gallon pot.
Hey, we call it swimming bouillabaisse.
That's exactly right.
Oh. But please check it out. Sean's book is criminally underfunded. He is such a talent. We're making these great comic books, making entertainment that is like Van Damme, like Steven Seagal, all the stuff we love that's just entertaining. We don't preach left wing, right wing, nothing like that in our books. Our books are just to make you laugh, thrill you, scare you, make you sad, but then make you happy. That's all we're doing here. You know we're passionate about this stuff. We just spent 3 hours saying bouillabaisse 800 times because we love having fun and love entertaining. So this is undeniable. I always say, if you're going to be an artist, I didn't get this. I didn't make this up. Jay Moore, the stand-up comedian. I've met him more than once. And he talks about his agent told him, you got to be undeniable, man. That's I forgot his agent's name, but he has a real nasally voice. And it's like playing baseball. You don't want to hit it down the third base line or, in between the outfielders and run your ass off. You hit that baseball into the fucking parking lot. No one can debate you. And that's what Sean does when he puts the pencil and the paintbrushes on the paper. You can't deny this. This is top flight. This is amazing. So please, the link is in the description. We need to fund this book better, guys. This is a fantastic book from a fantastic guy and a good friend of mine. So please check it out. I know you want to be entertained by great stuff, and we got it for you here. And then I want to say thank you to all you out there that have backed me on Truth, Justice, American Way. We are approaching $117,000 on this. Thank you so much. So please, if you haven't bought this one yet, please, the link is in the description.
The number,
please
you got to go to the backer number, man. Hit a milestone.
Oh yeah, we hit 1,800. That was before.
1,800.
What have we got any during the show? Because that was when we started. Let me hit refresh.
Yep.
Hit refresh. Did we get any during the show or not? Maybe we did. Maybe we did. Oh, we gained 2 during the show.
Beautiful.
So 16,669. 116,669. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
We're just having so much fun here. You know, Jericho, Shant, and I, we are sincere in our love about pop culture and especially masculine action stuff, because as entertaining and as fun as it is to talk about Potatoes O'Brien and Bouillabaisse, there are life lessons here about being strong, about being brave, about sticking up for your buddy, sticking up for your country, your family, your culture, your religion, and just standing fast in the face of terror. And Jericho's a veteran. In the military, that's one of the main things they're teaching you, is to stand fast in the face of terror for your nation, for your country. And that's what we want to do with these books, to inspire people. We don't want to bring people down, depress them, preach at you. Come on. I'm not DC Comics anymore. I left that nonsense. So that's my spiel there. Make sure you're subscribed to all of us. What a great night. I thought this was so much fun. So much fun.
It was awesome, guys.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on any of this? Jericho, Sean?
It was amazing, man. I had a good time. Yeah. If you're laughing, it's good shit, man.
Right.
That's authentic. Those are great laughs, man.
I can't believe, I don't remember what he was, your cousin, your brother, your whatever. I can't believe you're trying to shove his ankle back together.
That was my best friend, man. Yeah, that was my best friend, David. We're still friends to this day, man. First grade, he walks up to me and says, "Hey, you want to be friends?" Boom. That's what it was. And one time, my cousin, he gets inside. It was an empty 55-gallon drum, and he goes, "You dare me to roll down the hill?" And I was like, "Yeah." Except he had his head sticking out of the barrel, so every time the barrel went around, he hit his head on the ground. Yeah. So, just
the merry-go-round at the playground, just the big steel platform with the handlebars. We got that thing flying. Me and my brother, and I was a big kid. I was 5'10", 160 in 5th grade. I was the size of an adult in 5th grade. This is and my cousin John, Nina's brother. I don't know why I'm attacking this poor family, giving Nina bruises on it. My cousin John, he's 2 years older than me. He walks up to talk to me and my brother. We're just going, and I just say in my head, I know what to do. And I stick my butt out.
No.
Goes flying like Babe Ruth called those fucking home runs.
Oh, my God.
And when you knock the wind out of someone with your ass and you're the size of an adult and they're still a kid, the noise that comes out of them is so unsettling. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, man. All of his air said, "I'm gone."
Poor John, poor Nina. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I was a big kid. I hurt people by accident.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Hail Phil in the chat, by the way. My brother Phil, Zaid Comics.
Oh, yeah, Zaid Comics. There he is.
The same thing goes for Admiral. All you great guys. John, Mike,
right.
You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Naturally, took a nosedive after they stopped making R-rated 80s, 90s action movies. Well, we are the solution to that, friend. You tune in here Wednesday nights, and for those of you that came in late, we're going to end the show here in a minute. But Todd Senafonte, Van Damme stunt double, I've become friends with him at this Kung Fu dinner I went to in Chinatown. I'll explain later. I interviewed him. I'm posting videos on my channel for the next week and a half. 5 videos. They're like 10, 15-minute videos talking about what are the movies? Knockoff, Double Team, Sudden Death, all these great Van Damme movies. He's a stuntman in them, and he's fantastic. He's going to come on here live, I think, in 2 weeks and break down Double Team with us. He's really funny. He's really nice. Here's a little clip of it, and then we'll get out of here, okay?
Started in Phuket, and then we worked our way up to Chiang Mai, Ayutthaya, and then Bangkok.
Oh,
Every
shit.
guy out there, if you're not married.
Brilliant work, Gabe. Don't share the fucking picture. I'll restart that. It's short, though, so don't worry. It's very short.
No. Go for it, man.
Started in Phuket, and then we worked our way up to Chiang Mai, Ayutthaya, and then Bangkok. Every guy out there, if you're not married, has got to visit Bangkok. It's just an incredible place. You can get a lot of trouble, but we had a translator. We had someone that a guide to tell us, you can go there, but Don't go down that street.
Okay. Guys, Todd Senafonte, Van Damme's former stuntman, photo double, stand-in. I did an hour interview with him. I divided it up into like 5 short videos. I'm going to be posting them over the next week and a half. He is so fun, so brilliant. He was a great interview to go deep on all the 90s stuff we love, all the jump kicks, all the crazy stunts, sudden death, double team. He's telling me about running from tigers with Dennis Rodman. Just a great series of interviews. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can see when those come out. All right, guys. Great show. Thank you so much. And we will see you next Wednesday. Guys, we're going to do Roadhouse next Wednesday.
Let's do it.
So be ready. There's a lot of bouillabaisse in that movie.
Hell yeah, man.
You see top pubes and everything in that movie, man.
Sean, we got to make a new intro, though, that includes Jericho.
I'm already on it. We got plans for a brief photo shoot.
Oh, sounds
right,
good
man.
to me. We will see you kids